And we're live. Okay, everybody, follow us. I hope you followed us again. Give everybody a minute. Okay. Yep, there I just popped up on YouTube with it. Oh my God, the link. I got the worst look on my face. Oh man, says Cindy. I know. Yay! Says NFJ W22. Okay, we did it. Hi, everybody.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah, that was just terrible. Whatever that was.
Yeah,
You know.
these things happen.
There we go. Let me put that back.
Well, so
There we
far
go.
so good.
Oh, there's Winston. Hi, Winston. I didn't see you the first time. Hi, everybody. I'm glad you can. Hi, okay, Larry. Hi, 3D Bronze. Thanks for following me. I know that's just like, it's like so rude. And I think there's something to do with, it is something to do with having a Zoom meeting opposed to having a direct link to YouTube. Or I don't know. Who knows? Let's not talk about it. Yuck. Hi, 3D Bronze. Did I just say that? Susie, make more moderators in case. Okay.
Well, the thing is I don't think it mattered how many of us there were. None of us worked. You know what I mean?
They kept coming back under different names, didn't they, constantly, which tells me it was a bot.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I mean, feel free to do whatever you want, but I don't know that that'll help it.
Right.
Yeah,
Guess it doesn't matter.
It looks like we're good now, so.
Okay, so where were we? What were we talking about?
We were talking about. I was talking about Copperdan and Jack.
And what's next?
You wanted to talk. You wanted to talk about Douglas Preston.
Well, so there's which is so funny because it's a book about D.B. Cooper, and we know that there is a certain
Susie,
well, yeah,
you know this whole DB Cooper line. Are people saying that Forrest was DB Cooper or Skippy was DB Cooper?
I don't know. I think Skippy, but I don't. I mean, that's all just made up stuff, and I can't wait to find out with Preston. I mean, why was his next book about DB Cooper? I mean, that is just mean.
Because I know all about DB Cooper, and I've heard people talk about, it was Forrest DB Cooper, but I was never sure if the men was Forrest potentially DB Cooper or Skippy or neither.
I don't know. I don't either.
So I can tell you, you two, that Alan and I chat about this every once in a while, and I did buy the DB Cooper book that Alan recommended called Ha Ha Ha. It was really, really expensive online, and I saw it one day for like $30 and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy that because I can resell it for more money even if I just want to do that, and I never read it. And I guess there's speculation by quite a few people that DB Cooper was Forrest and or that it was Skippy. Skippy lived in Seattle, and we know that the Northwest Flight was Seattle, and there are quite a few things in the book and the story that may align time-wise, people-wise, all that good kind of stuff. But is there any way to prove it? The only way would be to get that jar and get that hair and do a DNA sample, I think, from Forrest Fenn jar.
And what is that story in the jar? Is that like the
juicy story?
Exactly. And it's just that Douglas Preston has played such a huge role in this, that the timing of this book. And the whole thing is like, either he was, but then again, he could just be inspired. He could have just heard the kerfuffle about the Forrest story and just thought, oh, this is a great twist,
Hang on, Susie, hang on though. I mean, Forrest Fenn's life's been well documented from young age, right? How on earth could he be DB Cooper?
Well, I don't know, because no one knows who DB Cooper was. It was 1971. Isn't that when it happened? So, I mean, it's only a day in the life, or, it's only one day in all those years that happened, or,
Yeah, I'm trying to rack my brains about what happened. And there was a flight full of gold, wasn't there? When the guy stole the gold and jumped out.
No, he hijacked the plane. He said,
"Oh, he hijacked the plane."
He hijacked the plane and said, "Give me $100,000 or something like that." I can't remember the exact thing, but he said, "I demand you give me this much money," and they did. And then the plane proceeded, and then he jumped out with the money.
And nor him or the money was ever found.
Traces of some of the money was found in a creek in the woods. And
when I was watching something earlier in the week, the money actually, with the rubber bands intact, the money couldn't have survived for as many years as it did without it having been buried under silt and mud. So there are a lot of things that sort of align, but there are so many coincidences. Who's to say? I think it's just a fun it's a fun distraction. They used to have a DB Cooper chili cook-off costume party every year at this bar called Ariel's in the West, and I think it was just to be fun. So,
right, because it's like like this mystery. Somebody got away with this thing. It really did happen. It wasn't it's a real story of a real incident. But
well, at the risk of upsetting half the chat, I prefer the DB Cooper idea to the whole two chests idea.
Me too, Adam.
I don't know what the two chest thing is, but what I can imagine about the two chest thing, have that happen, is that Forrest knows how to pour bronze. He knows how to make bronze. So what if he did buy the original chest and made a copy of it for himself? I mean, I don't think that is too far off. He poured bronze bells. He could make that bronze chest.
Yeah, but people are saying that he buried two chests and there's another one out there.
I don't think that's the stick. No,
I've heard that. I've heard people say that there's another chest out there waiting to be found.
Is that what this conspiracy is? Well, wouldn't that be fun and wonderful? Okay, that's a good conspiracy. That's kind of a fun one. That's not going to hurt anybody. Would it be in a different place or what? What's the story?
I've got no idea. I presume it'd be in a different place. But there's only one poem, right?
Right. But that poem fits in so many million different places. That's the issue here, dude.
Ain't that the truth?
Oh, I'm looking at the chat here. I have a foundry and a forge. Hey, Little Rock. There's Little Rock. There's a real. Okay.
So I see
Peace in the world.
What's that? Go ahead, Susie. Go ahead.
I'm just reading the chat. 3D Bronze made, but 3D Bronze, he came on the scene and made, I think it has nothing. 3D Bronze doesn't have anything to do with the chest. Is that what somebody's saying in there? No.
So Carrie Galloway said one chest at 9 Mile and one chest at Quake Lake. And Forrest said if he had a second chest, he would hide it in the Appalachian. So to believe that there's a second one out west, I think is more of a stretch than anything.
And
all the
oh, would that be great that Douglas Preston writes the book and writes the poem for the one in the Appalachians. Chase continues. I like it.
So Susie, I was wondering if, and I actually may email Doug this question. I've never emailed Doug Preston, but I was listening to the Forest Fen Doug Preston interview that KPRO and Mike released earlier this week in full.
Uh-huh.
And I'm curious if Doug is going to write a book similar to one that Forrest wrote for Eric. I always saw their relationship sort of aligning. And
Oh,
how,
yeah.
Doug Forrest wrote a conversation with Doug, $17 a square inch, if Doug might do something similar for Forrest, just to sort of memorialize him. And we know that Forrest was confident in Doug's writing to do so. So it'll be interesting to see if he does come out with anything.
I like that idea a lot. But all these things, they take time. And I don't think Preston, if he does do a story of Forrest, I think he's going to have to wait until we know the end. We don't know the end yet, right? I feel like we don't know the end. It's not, we don't know the end of the story. We know the end of Forrest's story, or do we? No, we don't. There's a whole story in an olive jar somewhere. And there's got to be more something.
Well, and David Crump rather asks what was the project Forrest was working on but wasn't ready to talk about. I do believe that may have been his biography that he was working on with, I think, a few different people. I don't know anything about this other than what's been said to the community, so I don't want to speak out of turn.
Oh, hi, Gallatin Ghost. Oh, here you are.
Hi, Gigi.
What a trooper for finding us. Things went wrong on the last stream, and we got a chat bot that was jumped in our game, ruined all our fun. No, you're pretty new to this party. I don't know how long we haven't been on long on this stream.
Hey, Gallatin, welcome. Lucky Digger. All the old names coming back like it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm. So, oh yeah, you told us already, Adam. I was going to say, so what brought you back?
Yeah, well, I said to anyone, a few people messaged me and said, "Where have you gone?" I'm like, well, I just got bored of like no real news. I genuinely got bored of it. And I thought, well, I'll come back when I hear something interesting or real. And then I heard that Jack had spoke to Copper Dan. I was like, wow, what he said to him, why has he met him? And I watched the Amy show when Copper Dan was on, and, great storyteller, fascinating show. And then I watched Cow Lasers on the Monday, and it makes you wonder. I never thought Jack would meet a searcher, and he has. So what else is Jack prepared to do down the line? Is he going to meet somebody else? Is he going to meet Dan again? All bets are off now, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. And even more intriguing too. It's like, where's Jack going? That he was in, New York. He met him in New York. So was he like on his way to Santa Fe to?
Do you know what? Let me just say this. I know people now are trying to work out the exact day that Dan met Jack, and then work out the inbound flights and the outbound. They've got in my opinion, they should not be doing that because it's none of their business.
I just wondered. I would never go that crazy.
Yeah, well, people are. I can guarantee you, Susie, right now, as we speak, people are working out what day Jack met Dan and working out what flights came in and what flights went out at the times. And for me, that's out of order. I don't think that people should be invading Jack's privacy in that way, but they are. People are obsessed with Jack, and it's they go to like crazy lengths to find out every bit of information. I don't think it's right myself, but there you go.
No, and I'm just wondering out loud if he was on his way to shoot some more video for the documentary
Well,
in Santa Fe with his chest.
Maybe
And with meet Cynthia and all those
yeah,
guys.
the Knookers. Yeah. Is Jack involved in that documentary? I mean, if he is,
Oh
we may
God, I
well
have
be-
no idea. I'm just making stuff up as I'm
well,
going.
people have told me he is, but how do they know, you know?
I
don't
hear
know.
he is in a documentary. I hear he is a part of a documentary. Is that real? I mean, that's what I thought I heard, but I don't know which one. And then there's conspiracies about who's the bad ones and who's the good ones and who's going to make the searchers look crazy and who's going to make the chase look, or
Well,
I don't know. Like, I know none of it. That's
Copper Dan said that from what he took from Jack in that meeting, and it was over an hour, so they were talking for a long time. Copper Dan made it clear that, in his opinion, Jack is not going to give the solution. Okay,
Adam, where are you gone?
Oh, hello.
There you
Have
are.
I gone?
No, you cut
sorry.
off. You cut off for just a second.
Okay, where did I get to? I was saying
how long that meeting lasted.
Yeah, Copper Dan spoke to Jack for well over an hour, and Copper Dan came away with the sense that Jack is not going to give out the solution. He was quite adamant on that. Copper Dan said, "Don't expect Jack to give out any information," which tells me, he's not going to speak. Which tells me he's not in a documentary. So.
I'm not going to believe that even sweet Copper Dan in his calm and reasonable voice going, yeah, well, he's not going to release anymore. So everyone just needs to move on because Jack is moving on.
Well,
and the way, and he says it all calm and sweet and, and lovely Dan. And and all that did to me is make me angry. You can tell me to move on until you're blue in the face, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not a thing it's not optional. I mean, it's mentally, to me, this is not something I can turn on or turn off. It's finding closure is only one way in my eyes to find closure in this. And that's to know the story, what happened, where it was, what I was involved in. What is this? And until I know this, you can tell me in the sweetest fairy godmother sort of bibbity bobbity boo, blow all the sunshine up my ass you want, and it's not gonna matter,
I think one thing I've learned in this chase is never tell people to move on. Everyone finds closure. Everyone's bar's set at a different level, okay, and everyone finds closure at a different place. Copper Dan has found his closure by meeting Jack.
Yes,
and good for him. Good for him. But you need the solution. I need the solution in the location for me to draw a line under it. Dan drew his line. Great, but you can't be saying everyone needs to move on because people need answers.
And I don't accept that out of. I mean, I'm gonna need Jack Stoof to stand in front of my face and look me straight in the eye and tell me that my closure means nothing to him, and then he's walking away, and my own and me as a person, he feels sorry for me but is never going to tell anything, and too bad for me. I mean, I need that straight from him. I need that look in my eye, and for him to he's even, he went to school to be a doctor, and not only that, we know he's taken psychology courses. I know for a fact because he's told everybody, and he's made a video about the psychology of the bias, right? And so he understands, and he also said that it was the most frustrating game he ever played, that he broke down many times and cried over the frustration and the horror. You can't tell me that he knows all those pieces and is going to leave everyone hanging. I don't believe that he's that guy. I can't believe that. that would be, you know, that's, he's thinks for whatever reason is acceptable, that's acceptable. And even if it meant losing all the money that he got, or losing the gold chest, or it's still that, then that would be the story. It wouldn't be, you know, that's how it ended. It's not one guy gets closure and runs, you know, that's,
Yeah.
that's not the game I was playing. That's not the game I signed up for. And the scenario that we find ourselves in, I never even considered. I considered it never being found. I considered it being found and no one ever knowing it was found. I considered it being found and we never knew who found it. Like they just ran off with it and Forrest said, yes, it was found, and we never got to know. But
Yeah.
here's a scenario where we know it was found and we know who found it, and they refused to give closure to the community. I mean, I can't believe that is the scenario. I won't believe that. And it's unacceptable in my mind. That is such an unacceptable way to proceed that it's like almost it's cruel. It's mean. It's I don't know the words for it, but
for what it's worth, Jack seems like a decent stand-up guy, especially after hearing what Copper Dan said about him. I don't see him withholding the information forever. I think he's waiting for something. I don't know what, maybe legalities. And I think ultimately he will tell the community the answer. But for whatever reason, not yet.
Yep. And you know, and I can't help but also have this tinge of I don't know, like of jealousy or this mean I don't know about, yeah, lovely Copper Dan got to meet Jack. He had money to go anywhere he wanted to go fly and meet. He said he would meet Jack anywhere in the world. And Copper Dan, which I don't begrudge anybody, but I mean, I'm just putting myself in this position. Never could I buy my way into closure. Like, I feel like Copper Dan in the most nicest way in the world, by being the most generous man, raising thousands of dollars for a charity, but he was still able to do that because of his own money and his own ability to hop on a plane and fly to New York on a whim and purchase that poster and purchase the frame and have those artifacts and all this money that he's got involved in it. And it's just like this thing of, you know, it's like he was able to, you know.
But Susie, he wasn't given any information that would have given you closure.
No, but he still found closure in that, you know. And so that's what makes me but even if I came up with a great fundraiser, made a wonderful Forrest Fenn painting, and did the same thing with my own talent and my own ability, you know, I still could never jump on a plane and meet Jack somewhere and have him sign it so I could get more money for it, or, you know, for charity or whatever, you know. I could never, ever do that in this scenario. And so it's not that I begrudge Dan any of that, but it's still just this, you know, there's no like I couldn't afford to go jump on a plane and fly to the Fenn finale up in West Yellowstone last year. And, you know, and there was a bunch of people that got to do that and find closure and finale at that, you know, and you know, throw their coin in the river and do whatever they did and made it a part of a closure thing. And so it's like closure only for the people that can afford it is what it feels like right now.
I don't think it comes down to the money though, Susie. Like no amount of money in the world could get Jack to speak right now. Well, I say that, you know what I mean.
I know, but is there a way to find closure without
Your
that.
bar's set so high. Your bar's like at the top. You want everything, the solution and the location. Other people can find their closure lower down the scale, you know?
I want the solution and
And
how he did it. I want to know the clues in the book and I want to know the
you
you
want to
know,
know everything. You want to know everything.
I want to
don't
know
you?
how he found the clue. If what are those do not touch those red letters in that chapter? I want to know if Tea with Olga had, you know, is that where that I want that book explained, you know?
Forrest is gone. So a lot of those answers you're never going to get because Jack
But
won't know them.
Jack knows those answers. Yeah, there are
Not-
answers that
not-
Jack
not
never
the-
thought of. That
Not the
Jack
ins and
never
outs of the book. Not the ins and outs of the book. You won't know all about that.
the
Will you?
one the information, the ins and outs, the information needed to solve the poem, and what if the illustrations meant anything or not, and which ones did, if they did. Are there hidden numbers? Are there, you know, is that information card in the front flap, is that relevant to the solve? I mean, there's so many just basic how-tos that is like, oh, you know, like Jack figured it out. There was something that unlocked it. And until the understanding of how he did this, that to me, that's my closure. But that's just my own. And because that's the only way I can think of because I cannot buy my way in any other form of closure. I cannot buy my way to Santa Fe to go to the bookstore and then up to Taos to see the Vietnam Memorial and and then go to Forrest and Peggy have a plaque in the cemetery in Santa Fe, you know, doing all that. I bet I could find closure, but that's not even,
I disagree.
That's not like,
I don't think you could. I don't think that would give you closure at all.
you don't?
No, I don't. I think you're so determined to find out everything. I don't think
I need to know. I mean, how do you invest so much? I mean, like, I invested so much energy into this. Like, this energy didn't go away, and this knowledge of what I learned from the chase doesn't just disappear, you know.
I can see the energy coming off you now through the camera. You're like a ball of energy. You need to expend it somehow, and you can't. It's internal.
Yeah, exactly.
Difficult.
Susie, the cool thing is that we have so many different people working on different facets of the chase. We've got people, you know, scouring the area that they believe is most likely. We've got people like you and others working on the poem and the book and understanding. And then we've got people digging into, you know, who is Jack? Tell me more about the details and sort of the background of it being found. So I think all of those things together, no one has closure, in my opinion, but all of those things together, we might end up with maybe some answers, hopefully. So.
Right. And so in the meantime, here we are. Oh, I'm seeing my name in chat all of a sudden. I looked up and it's like,
I've not been looking at the chat. Sorry.
The only thing that will give you closure is seeing the chest and maybe getting the clues. Maybe. Oh, I hope to God that would do it. Is a ball of energy.
That's what I can see.
When it comes to talking Forrest Fenn stuff, that's an easy passion, an easy flame to light, you know.
Susie, how much of the day do you think about this? Is it on your mind 24/7 or?
It's become less, but it was always the first thing, you know. It was always the first thing I wanted to think about in the morning, because if I started, you know, it's like when you just thought of consciousness when you wake up in the morning, when you open your eye and you're like,
yeah,
okay, you take that first breath of like, okay, where am I? What am I doing? Where am I in the world? You know, just that.
Yeah.
And then realize that, you know, it'd always be like, oh, oh, this is my life. Oh, And then I always start thinking about, okay, let's think about where Wormhorse Hall, I mean, and just think like, oh, what can I do with Forest Fen today? Or what can I learn today? Or where do I want to, like, instantly it would be my diversion from my shitty life into reality, or a different, because the chase is a real thing. It was a real it was a real treasure hunt. It's like, ooh, this is so good. It's like a fantasy playing out in the middle of a reality, And so it was always this, it was just the place I thrived in. And so well, and I try to think back to my life before the chase. What was it? What was it in my mind when I made that first bing of consciousness? What was my default before this? Like, I can't even remember, Yeah,
So
it was always, actually, it was always about some sort of treasure hunt. It was always about, where am I going to find my next treasure, as far as, being a picker and, looking for artwork and antiques and gold, real gold, gold jewelry, and scouring, auctions and estate sales and yard sales. And, so it was always this hunt. That was always where I guess my interest was. So
Susie, have you done that lately?
I went to yard sale today with my sister. Did I go to a couple of them? Yeah, I went to 2 of them today.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
always have so much fun with them. Yeah, it's just more.
I
So
would encourage you
Yeah.
to do that. I think rejoining some of the stuff that we used to do is a lot of fun. I went out with friends last night, watched some football, had some beers, and it was really refreshing I've done it. I do it often, but not as often as I probably should. So
why did I have this like little twinge up my back when you said that? Because it sounded a lot like you should move on.
Oh, no.
All I heard is
no.
you should move on.
No,
Susie,
I'm not saying that. Please
No-
please
no
don't.
one would dare.
That's what I heard.
You can whip me up for it a little bit, but no, I just think it's really good because it does take some of the stress out of it. I'm totally not moved on. I just bought the book of Bywater. I mean, come on.
But you know what? That whole my whole going to auctions and doing all that I used to do all the time, that's gone. That is no longer an option in my world. It's gone. I don't have an outlet. I no longer have an outlet to sell my things. I don't have an audience. I've lost my whole, it's gone. So it's not like something that you can, everything that I built for years and years and years of doing that is no longer optional. It's just, I can't do it any longer. So it's what do you do? I could go looking for stuff and buying stuff, but I would have no place to, I don't have where would I sell it? I mean, and the real rare treasures are so few and far between.
Well, like those robes you told us about, the gold filigree robes, that was fascinating to me. How you could find something and see something like that and know it is just
awesome.
amazing.
Those were
And
so good. There was 3
you're-
of them and I only bought 2 of them.
Hey,
Oh,
make good money on them. That's great.
I think that, the ones that got away are always the ones that are, I think about this engraving that was so flippin' old and lovely and so well done. And that one I sold it to somebody in Canada. And, there's a few things that I just think of no matter what, I had to flip everything I found. I never got to keep my treasure, the treasures that I did find, the really great stuff, I always had to sell right away. But there are a few things that I just think, oh, why did I sell that? Dang God, I love that painting. I had such,
You did talk about one painting that you said you kept and that you'll always keep. And not saying you have to reveal it, but I would love to see it because it must be a really special painting.
There's, which one was that? I have two favorite paintings. I love Gare Barks. Gare Barks is she was a Disney artist at one point, mid-century. She did her works mostly in the 60s and 70s. She married Carl Barks. Carl Barks is the creator of Donald Duck. He is the illustrator, did all the Carl Barks comic books. He's the comic book artist, whatever, Donald Duck. And his wife, in her own right, was a fantastic artist. And I love her works. And her name is, and she signs him Gare, Gare. And she was born with only one arm. She was born with like only a half arm, so she was a one arm extraordinary painter. And went to art school in Honolulu, she grew up in Hawaii. I don't know, but she's, yeah. And I have, so I consider myself a Gare Barks collector because I have 3 of her paintings. And so once you have 3 paintings, you're a collector. If you have 3 of the same artist, that makes you have a collection. And so I have, and she's mostly known, she did a line of greeting cards for the, leaning tree or learning tree. I can't remember. I can't remember. But she's, yeah. And then another one that I don't I haven't identified the actual artist who did it, but I just love the painting, and it's an impressionist. And I took it to the Antiques Roadshow, the real Antiques Roadshow, and they told me that it was probably painted in European. It was European. It probably could even be a French. Could even been painted in France.
Wow, that's cool.
And they're thinking 1910, it's just like, wow. And I own it. It's huge and awesome. And they put a value on it right. They said as is, it has some condition issues. And I didn't even I didn't even bring my frame. I just brought the painting with the custom frame, and it's huge. But they said it was worth like $1,500 as is. But if I could identify the artist, it could be 10,000 or more.
Wow.
And that was without the frame. So I mean, I love that painting too. And it's a farm scene, but the clouds, it's all about the clouds in the sky. And it was like, and that's, and it's like the clouds are fabulous in that one. And that brings me to the Eric Sloan. And it's like, I love Eric Sloan's clouds, and it kind of hits home. But so I do, it's not like but it's like I paid like $15 or some crap for that lovely painting, I mean, I can't, I'm a low roller. There's no money involved here, so I can't, and I used to be brave. I used to be like, go all in. Like I would see something great. I would know it's great. I would spend money I didn't even have and get it and flip it quick and make the money back and, just live like,
Susie, I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually an antique dealer. I deal in antique porcelain for a living, is what I do for a job. So I totally get the excitement of finding that one piece that is special. And like you, I sell most of my items on, but occasionally I'll get something that I have to keep for myself.
That you just can't, right?
Let me put my camera on quickly. I'll show you what I did.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh God, no, that's me.
At the yard sale today, they had a selection of maybe like 8 to 10 English teacups that were just lovely. They were like mid-century and just, with the rose paint. They were lovely. At a yard sale I was at today, they were asking $5 a piece for the cup and saucer. It's like, oh my God, these things are so awesome and lovely, and they're not worth anything any longer. It's like, oh, but it would have been nice to have it's like, oh, it must be fun to have a real cup of tea in the, a Royal Dalton fancy teacup.
Okay, I don't know how do I flip my camera?
Okay. It's that.
How do I flip it, my camera?
I don't know. What are you using, a computer or a phone?
No, I'm on my phone.
Okay, well then you should have that little circle within a circle in the corner. That's the symbol for. flipping
Yeah.
camera. Oh, well, there's an upside down cat.
Oh, hang on, I found it. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh wow, how many of that messes haven't I?
Now you're
Okay. Okay, here we go. I got this from an auction a few years ago to sell on, but I love him so. It's a cougar. I love
It's
him
lovely.
so much. I know it's
Who
like,
is it
I know
by?
everyone's-
Adam loves cougars.
well,
Oh,
yeah,
look
I
at
like the older lady.
how big it is too. You can tell how big it is by putting
Oh
your hand.
yeah, it's my hand. And it's like it's
Who
big
made it?
and,
Who is the manufacturer?
Albany. It's a UK company called Albany China.
Okay.
And he's probably about
I've heard of
60,
him.
70 years old. And I just loved him. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep him. And there he is. He's been on my mantelpiece for, I don't know, 2-3 years, and he's going nowhere.
Right. There's just some things that are just like they hit the right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's staying. So yeah, there you go.
One of your yeah. And was he like one of those steals? Is like, oh man, I can't believe I scored this. Nobody bid against me. I love those auctions when I'm like wait for something wonderful and it's like nobody's bid. Oh my god, you know.
I think I paid about £100, so not a lot of money
Okay.
really. And I would have got 300-400 for him, but it's not about the
right.
money.
It's not worth it when a couple hundred's not worth it then to flip those,
Yeah.
you know, your
Yeah.
favorite treasures.
Well, I just liked him. He spoke to me, so.
Yeah, there's very few items that I've actually kept in my days, and actually the Gare Barks paintings that I do have, those were purposefully purchased, you know, and like I had to scrape money or borrow money or go in debt or put it on credit cards. I can't even remember, you know, but it was like a big dang deal, a few $100s that I knew I couldn't or wasn't going to make back or didn't want to make back or whatever, you know. It's like, I got to keep this. It's just, there's a Gare Barks of a cougar. Actually, my favorite Gare Barks painting is I sold, or, you know, not my favorite, the favorite one I've still kept, but I had one of a cougar jump just like that, jumping off a rock. It was almost that same, but it was you know, it was I don't know, it was lovely, but I did sell that painting.
It sounds like you have an eye for it, and you have to have that. You have to have that ingrained ability to notice quality, you know, amongst a pile of junk. And I think if you can do that, you're going to be.
I got that. I can do that. I can find gold. I can find a gold piece of jewelry in a. I can sniff out gold like you wouldn't believe. I'm like, I've done that quite a bit. Too, yeah. But that is something that was a previous life thing. I don't know. And then what happened? Then I found the Forest Fenn treasure.
Yeah.
I did the two simultaneously for a while. I really did.
And then Forest Fenn took over.
And then, yeah, well, no, the wheels of my life bus fell off. And yeah, things went wrong in my life. And so it was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. And so, yeah, and then Forest Fenn became the escape. And I can't even remember how I even found the Forest Fenn treasure hunt or how I was even introduced to it when I come to think of it and think back. But I knew about it and was involved in it a lot longer than when I actually was a real searcher, where I actually did a focus on it. You know, it's like I was aware of it. I had the poem printed off, sitting next to my bedside, and that's no kidding. It sat from an actually printed off poem, and it sat on my bedside for years. I'm serious. And that's before I even really looked into it. And then it was like I want to say 2017 is when I really went in hard. And so I haven't even been, but 2017 till now, it was like head first, both feet, all in.
For some reason, the Forest Fenn thing, it pulls people. it has this ability of pulling people in, you know, and kind of,
It really does. That's the magic. He made it feel like
yeah.
anybody can do it. Anybody. You don't have to be, you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be smart. You don't even have to, you could be a drop out of school and you could still figure it out. You don't have to be a hero.
And on the face of it, the poem's so simple. It's so easy on the face of it. I think that's the key. He's made the poem appear that anyone can work it out. Creek, Home of Brown, Paddle High, you know, I can work this out. And that's I think one of the reasons why it's so popular, because it appears to be so easy.
It's always this all-inclusive thing. Yeah, it always felt that this, you know, like if you wanted to be a part of this, just do it. You know, you didn't have to get anyone's permission. You didn't have to, you know, you don't have to do anything. You could be a part of it without even buying the book, you know. And I finally got the book in January of 2018 is when I actually got the physical book, but I worked on it hard, I would say, before I even had the physical book. I worked on it a lot. And any glimpse of the book that I could find online or anyone talking about it online, the actual book itself and the text itself, I was like all in. And that's when I found Shelley and Toby, A Gypsy's Kiss. That's when I found those guys and was just like hanging on their every word. And then they started doing live shows and it was just like, oh, this is the best thing ever.
I used to watch those shows religiously, like day in, day out. At one point, they're doing them every day. I was like, my God, this has become my life.
This is great. Isn't it like the best thing ever? Yep.
And of course, Toby's got his closure, you know, another one. Good for him. He's gone, moved on.
Or did he, or did Shelley just make him?
Or maybe a bit of both.
I think Shelley just made him get on and move on. But I think he's still, I can't imagine Toby not interested in the rest of the story and the real story and real stuff. I mean, how could he not be? Look at, I mean,
you know, he's got one eye on it all the time. Like me, you know, I took a few weeks off, you know, and I'm still out. I'm only in. I only came back for the whole Jack thing, and Dan thing. But you know that he's got one eye on it all the time, like I have. You know, he can be out, but at the same time, you can keep an eye on what's happening.
I know. And then I even thought it was like, what am I going on even tonight? It's like, what am I even going on for? What am I doing? Why do I keep doing this? Like, I don't need to come on here tonight. But
what are you talking about? This is a highlight of a lot of people's week.
But then again, it's like I couldn't think of why not, you know, and I also could stop thinking about all the other people, all these, like right now there's six people in here, you know, so there's still this group of people that feel the same. And it's like, I felt like it was like, okay, it's my turn. I have to go on. So he's got to keep this going, you know, it's like, okay, it's Friday, get up.
I used to love it. See, Friday for me was Susie Van Haven night. I used to look forward to you coming on, and you can guarantee everyone in here feels the same way.
Right, and so it's like this. It's like, why not do it? Even if I, you know, like some shows are definitely better than others.
Well, it's an outlet for you, isn't it? You enjoy
it's an outlet,
talking
and it's an outlet for everyone in here. You know.
Yeah, you get it off your chest, don't you? What you say, what you want to say. You moan about things if you want to moan about things. It makes you feel better.
Yeah,
There's no,
for me,
there's no harm in for you and
selfish,
you know,
endeavor.
It's good for everyone to get it out. Rudy, I've been saying that from day one. It's Hotel California. You can check out, mate, but you can never leave. So true.
That's right. Oh my God. Huli, have you been reading a chat, or do you know what's going on? Is there any?
A little bit, but it's not really anything new or different.
It's just because we're just here.
It's just people like, you know, either ragging on each other or saying how they feel, which I think some of it's just being able to say how you feel amongst people that understand the chase is a big outlet, because like I don't know anyone else in the chase in real life.
Exactly.
So it's not like I can complain to anyone except for you all. So it's a wonderful place to come and do that. And if there is stuff exciting, it's always cool that you're here, Susie. So thank you for being. here.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome. And thank you for coming. And I couldn't do this or wouldn't do this if you guys didn't all show up, you know?
Well, and the other thing is the people that have checked out, um, I don't think they have anything more than this. I really don't suspect Jack gave Copper Dan anything extra.
No.
But in his
No.
mind, he probably is just mentally like that was his moment and he's done. And
Yeah.
I don't think he's leaving anyway. Even if he said it
No.
out loud, he's not gone. Come on,
No.
Copper Dan, we're gonna see you on Monday night in Kate Row and Cal's show. So, you know, wish us all well and move on, and then we'll see you next week.
Exactly.
K-Pro calling Jack an asshole.
Oh, what?
Well, not really, but
Pound
says-
asshole.
I've got two
Oh,
pieces of
hashtag.
information the last day. I'm going to try and figure out and pissy. I am being dared to tell more, and Jack doesn't seem to care. Hashtag asshole. K-Pro, tell
I
it.
find that hard to believe.
If you know something, come out and say it. You know what? Why hold back now? You know, it's been a year, well over a year. Let's get it all out. Find out if you know something, say it.
Susie, have you been keeping up with Dow's blogs?
No, not at all. What's interesting over there?
So I haven't read any recently, but I saw like 3 or 4 came across my email this week. So he's rolling out new stuff and emails from Forrest
Why
to
don't-
him.
I suppose I don't get the notifications from his news site because it's a news site, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. And you can go down to the bottom and hit follow. I hadn't either until just recently.
Okay,
And,
I probably
uh,
should do that because that was like, I still believe that Dale's role is, so what was the information, or he's releasing what? Old emails with Forrest? Is that what you
Yeah.
said?
Yes, correct. Last week I stayed up super late last weekend with some peeps, some really good peeps, and looked over some emails that came from from Forrest to Dale in 2012. So it was very, very early on.
Oh,
So I would highly recommend anyone that's not looked at that at his website, get on there and hit follow. Like I was followed onto the old one, but not the new one, and you can still get the email notifications. And I do believe everyone has their own part to play, and I think it's really cool that Dale's releasing this stuff. Really, really cool.
and isn't it interesting about Dale's role in this? And he doesn't have to do this. He would never have to. Like, why is he releasing this information? And what is it that he thinks is in these emails that are gonna, I mean, what is the point? I don't understand. I suppose he's the same as us too. He can't just let go of this. He can't just go put all the effort. Do you imagine being Dale? Like, holy moly, because he had all those interviews with Forrest, a ton of interviews with Forrest. He filmed all those short snippets of just Forrest talking. And he also did, like, he was so close to it all. And just to have it. But then again, I think Dale's part in this is not completely transparent. I think he probably has a lot more of the backstories and the hows and the whys and the who's it's than we ever would know, or I think there's mechanics involved with Dale. But I don't know that. I mean, I don't know. I've never met Dale. I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything. I'm making this up. But from what it seems to me, his role was he played a really close ally to Forrest in this whole time. And how much of that was you know, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see that story unfold completely as well, you know?
Yeah, the interesting thing was, Susie, was some of them were first drafts of his stories in his scrapbooks. And right, first drafts. So it was interesting to look at a first draft versus what we saw in a book or in even the Daily Bozeman Chronicle. Like some of them were first draft with an email to Dale, then Daily Bozeman
Like run
Chronicle,
them
and
by
then the
Dale
book.
and like, what do you think of the type
I
thing?
don't even know
Or-
if he was I don't even know if he was asking for opinion, but just sharing it with Dale. I found it very interesting that the first draft, to compare the first draft, the Chronicle draft, and then the book draft, like what were the differences, or what someone else, I said what are the differences, and they said what are the similarities. So it was really just interesting to analyze them. So if you know, people think they've run out of things to look at or think about, definitely still lots out there.
Christine. Yeah, I need to go check that out. I will. What did I just see here? Candy says, Chase and Indy says Jack is a hero for solving the poem in 2019. Oh, she's in the camp of there's a new that he figured out in 2019, went ahead and moved to Puerto Rico to set up residency or whatever tax dealio. And then went and claimed the chest after he was already a citizen or not a citizen. I don't know how it works. Good God, I should shut up. But you have to have permission to live in Puerto
Yeah.
Rico. That's all I know. Puerto Rico.
I just
But
don't buy
okay,
that.
so why would you hate Jack for that? Oh, because until after a searcher. Okay, but you know what? I still, if he found test and didn't retrieve it, I don't see an issue with that because it was still up for grabs for anyone to find, right? I don't know if I want to even go into that one.
If you're going to blame Jack for that death, you've got to blame Forrest for the other
For
deaths.
all of them. And that's not even a thing. I mean, I don't think that is, you know, people die in state parks all over all the time. You know, it's not like a, you know, it's go encouraging somebody to out into the wilderness, and they die. That is not, is that on you? I mean, I don't know. All I know is my idea of this when I got into it. When I went was searching one time, a real boots on the ground thing, you know, and I just thought, I just threw like, if anything happens to me while I'm out searching, if I die doing what I love to do, it's not, that is because of me, you know. It's like I would have had nothing to do with, you know, Forrest. He never, you know, I mean, really, it's hard for me to place the blame on Forrest for somebody's errors in judgment, you know.
I agree.
I mean, dying for a chest of gold, that is out. There is a difference than dying for a chest of gold that is not out there. That is out there. Oh, is not out there. That's right. Is that any different? Oh, I'm just trying to jump in the chat when I really don't know what's going on, so I should shut up.
I think the theory is that he left the chest in the location for a year, if I'm right.
And I don't see a big deal. You know what? I don't have a problem with that, because unless he moved it and broke the blaze himself and then moved it to a different place, and I think if he really found it and not claimed it, and so what is the scenario that he told Forrest that he found it in 2019 and said, I found it, but I'm gonna leave it there? I mean, do you think but it wouldn't matter. Even if he did, I don't see an issue with that. If he called up Forrest and said, yeah, guess what? I got it, but I have the location. I'll tell you exactly where it is. Here's where it is. But I'm gonna leave it there. Or
Here's
Does
the
that-
thing.
Does that sound
Before-
believable to you, though, that he would leave it there and, knowing full well that somebody else could come and find it and take it from under his nose? I just don't buy that. Just don't buy it.
Here's the thing. If you knew where it was and you told Forrest you knew where it was, then don't you think you would be looking over your shoulder every second thinking, is he sending Shiloh to go get it? I think I think he would be more likely to have moved it. And I think what that website said is that he moved it within the same type of land or the same type of geography or something to that effect on the same property. And that's the theory.
right?
But
I
even
see my
so,
name.
Forrest-
Lucky Digger says
yeah.
Doug Preston talked about the deaths in K-Pro's interview, in the K-Pro interview. Yeah. He said that before you go out into the wilderness, you should have some idea of what you're doing. Unfortunately, not so. I was out there like an idiot, but I didn't do anything like
Well, I think Forrest made it
I
as
was a
safe as
complete
he
idiot
could.
when I was out there, but I didn't get into the water. I didn't.
Yeah, I
know,
mean, Forrest said, didn't he? Don't go anywhere an 80-year-old man wouldn't go. I mean, that's kind of like
and that's
clear.
I used as a rule of thumb. I use
don't
it
put-
as a rule of thumb. The place I went
Yeah.
to, many people went to, and it was not a dangerous place.
Mhm.
So
Don't go.
and any stupid move that I did while I was there at a not dangerous place, by meaning that I set my bottle of water down and then thought, oh, I'll just remember I put it on that rock, and then went off and then never saw it again. I mean, that's my own dumb,
yeah, that's
I
on.
mean,
Yeah, that's on you, isn't it? Exactly.
that's on me. That has nothing to do with. I looked behind me, turned around, and next thing you know, I'm going north when I should have been walking south. I mean, that has nothing to do with Forrest Fenn. That's my own,
Well, and being rescued once in the mountains and then having to be called for a second rescue like a month later or weeks later, I mean, that's just not reasonable.
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry. And it's a tragic, some tragic things happened, unfortunately, but it's not what the rules Forrest laid out for us, unfortunately. And that's, you're always going to have the people on the highway that speed. You're always going to have the people that don't use their turn signals. It's a risk of life.
Right. Leaving your house is a risk of life. Staying home is a risk. I mean, where do you draw the line? I mean, you have to decide what's your own, And everyone has to just be responsible for their own, stupidity. What's going on in the chat?
Susie, have you dug into the Condor posts at all? I know Chasing Indy's been big into that, and quite a few other people have. What are your thoughts on that? And
No,
have you dug
only I have somebody, or was it I don't. I have the PDF file of a Reddit thing, but it's not. I don't think it's the one that's 70 pages long or something. Dirk, I think Dirk got me that. I can't remember now, but no, I haven't really. Only just no, because will it bring us closer to the
No.
finding it or figuring out the clues, or is it make us figure out the end location and then we can back engineer it? Is that the idea? But I haven't really looked into it. No.
I mean, I know Candy is big into the Reddit, and I know a lot of people have spent a lot of time going over it, and so far it hasn't given us any solid, concrete information, has it? So I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I've not heard anything, so I know people have got theories about it, but it's just that theories,
But isn't that where the 2019 he found it in 2019 and left it there? That came from that information, right?
But that isn't.
I think that's
speculation. We don't know that for a fact, and Jack says different. So I didn't put too much stock in it because I've not seen the evidence to prove it one way or the other. And I'm big on evidence now. I need hard, concrete evidence. Otherwise, I kind of won't entertain it.
Yeah, there's too much.
There's too much, Susie, out there of like people messaging me and, oh, what do you think this? What do you think this? There's so much of it. And I'm like, guys, if you haven't got any real evidence, I'm not really interested.
Yeah, and then Candy says, "Good Lord, Adam, you haven't even looked at it."
But Candy has, and other people have, and no one's come out with anything concrete.
No one's come up with. What are you looking for? Proof that that person was Jack? This Condor 2 and Jack are the same?
No, not even that. Not even that. I'm just looking for like concrete evidence that he found it in 2019.
Right.
I've not heard anything that proves it.
It says thanks to the Chase and Indy says thanks to the database we know the blaze was an F carved into a pine tree. So yeah, the database is the best we have at the moment. But you know what I have to say about that, Candy? That flat out we were told by Jack that the blaze was not an F on a tree. He said it was not a carving on a tree. That was like one of the main. He said it was not like three things. It was not, and being a carving on a tree was one of the things he said it was not. So, is the conspiracy involved? That Jack broke the real blaze, moved the chest, and then carved the F into the tree that he hid it under him, to come back a year later. He moved it, so no one's going to find it. And he carved that F himself. Is that like, maybe I can see where that story.
And hang on a minute. And I've got a major issue with the whole F on a tree.
Do you want Candy to come in? She wants the link. Do you guys want to talk it out?
Yeah, it's up to your show, Susie. It's up to you. But I'll just say that Forrest said, didn't he, that the blaze would be very, I don't know the word to use, I'm paraphrasing. The blaze would be very hard to destroy, deface, remove, almost impossible, I think he said. Anyone can remove an F on a tree in 2 minutes with a chisel and a hammer. It's not long lasting enough. I've always hated the blaze being a mark on a tree because it's too easy to remove, too easy to destroy, and it's not long lasting enough. I've always thought that the blaze is a mark on a rock myself, but hey ho.
It does feel like a mark on a rock to me, but I mean, if that's what, here we go. Candy, I'm sorry. I just see your email.
Yeah, I bet Candy's doing a nut, isn't she?
Yes, there we go, dear. Okay, now I have to jump back onto my Zoom so I can see your comment. Okay. I don't want to put it in the main thing because things can go wrong with that too, I think. I don't know. Enough on a rock. Oh, here we go. Candy is now Chase and Indy is now joining us, everybody. Welcome, Indy.
Susie, you are killing me, woman.
No, Adam.
Killing me. No, Adam is fine. He's allowed to think his little butterfly unicorn thoughts. That's great. But the thing is, until you actually take the time, until you do the time, and you go into a database and you read every single one of those mother effing comments, and there are 74 pages, by the way. And not only that, once you read the comments, you click on the Reddit post that was originally commented on, and then you find the comments he was having a conversation with to understand the narrative. So until you do that... Okay,
so what'd you learn? Where is it? Where was it?
There's so much. And even Christy's still like picking it apart. And I went hardcore for 3 solid days of just nothing but obsessing over this damn database. And when you get to the comment where Jack's going off on a Reddit user for saying he knows for a fact there's no way the blaze could be a tree or rock, it gets interesting. Because Jack is like adamant
so that's where
that it's a damn tree. Well, not only that, there's other comments where he's talking about certain scrapbooks that helped him figure out what the blaze was. And each one of the scrapbooks happens to be a story where Fenn talks about carving a freaking F into a pine tree.
Okay, there's some deductive reasoning.
There's so much. And then in regards to Fenn's comment about, it's not feasible to remove the blaze, Jack goes on and says, well, what do you expect? A searcher to go walking around with a chainsaw and hack it down and throw it in their truck? That's what he says in regards to that comment.
Hey, Indy, may I ask a question? The dates on the stuff that you're reading, is anything before 2019?
No, so what it is after, I want to say around after September 2019, I completely stopped listening to what he's saying because I think it's kind of like a decoy. If you start from 2018, because his very first post on the Fenn stuff for Reddit was May 20th, 2018. And he was really excited about a post about Terry Scant being a clue, which later on, if you go back to the only post that the Condor Twos ever put on Reddit, he does one of those audio clips from Dale's website of Fenn talking about Terry Scant and the blaze and the clue like that. So that's what excited him and got him started. Then you start seeing his mind and how he works and who he's following, where he's searching, the stretch of the Madison. He does all kinds of stuff. He finds a map from the 1800s. He's obsessed with freaking Mount Burley, which was, now is the overlook, Mount Haines. So Mount Haines back in the old days used to be called Mount Burley. And then go in deeper and you find out Jack got drunk one night and he spent a bunch of money on an out of print book from the 90s that's about the names behind landmarks in Yellowstone National Park. So there is so much evidence that lines up to what he was doing, how he was thinking. But right before April 2019, he starts poking around thinking something else. So he starts looking into Hebgen. He doesn't physically go there, but he starts searching Hebgen and looking into it. And the thing is, it's not just myself. Matt Small the Sunshine came with the same conclusion that I did. Jack was following Marty, all because of Scrapbook 50. And Marty is infamous for Scrapbook 50 because it has the 2 double omega symbols that Fenn put there on the scrapbook. And she was actually searching from 7 Mile Bridge to 9 Mile Hole those 4 days that Fenn talked about that scrapbook. And there's so much more crazy stuff you can find and connect if you read the comments, look at the post. What's crazy is a lot of stuff. There's one specific post, if it was still there, would have broken the whole thing loose. But somehow it's deleted, and whoever Jack is talking to in regards to every time he posts or he says something gets deleted. So there's someone in there in Reddit that's covering their ass or covering something up. That is kind of making me mad because you can't have all these people that have such good information connected strictly to Jack be deleted and you can't see anything unless you are a mod there. So there's a whole backstory on that. But Jack is 100% the freaking Condor too. And if you can't see it, you're never going to find the story. That's there's a part where on September 20th, 2019, he comments on a Reddit post saying what do you think happened to the lead searcher? And he's being all coy. He's saying he already found the chest, is moving to Puerto Rico, and isn't going to come back until next year to retrieve the chest for tax purposes. I screenshotted that.
Who said that? Who?
Jack.
He said that.
Yeah, the Condor 2 said that. He said he literally found the chest already, was moving to Puerto Rico, and then was going to wait until a year to go back and retrieve it to avoid taxes because of capital gains.
Is that where the Puerto Rico theory of Jack moved to Puerto Rico? Is that where it started?
Miriam DeFonso, before we found out anything about the Condor 2 on Reddit, already tracked Jack to Puerto Rico. And now there's documents proving he moved to Puerto Rico. He is there. He is there. And it just so happens that whole thing happened 10 days after the September 20th post. So September 30th is when Jack put in a request for Puerto Rico. September 20th, 2019 is on Reddit when he actually puts that comment, meaning in April of 2019, this asshole solved it and then decided to keep it there for tax purposes. Okay, that's why I'm a little peeved. It's probably why Christy's peeved. It's like he knew where it was. He knew he had it solved on paper. He waited until 2020 to go and retrieve the damn thing.
And why is everyone so mad about that? Why you mad about it?
Well, because if he would have said the freaking thing was over in 2019, all these idiots wouldn't be going out
But he
doing
didn't have
stupid
it in
shit.
his possession. Until it's in your possession, you don't have it.
And he
You know?
decided not to have it in his possession because he wanted to move to Puerto Rico and save money on capital gains.
So you see
That's
that
what's
as
annoying.
a dick move? That's a real dick move?
I think it is a dick move.
Or is that a
I really
smart
do.
move? Total dick
It's
move.
not like
Okay.
he went online and tried preventing people from freaking searching for it or like tipping them off saying, hey, it's over. It was just like a total smartass after that. If you go after September 2019, look at all his comments, he just goes and just is a dick after that. He literally says all this smartass stuff to people. It's just like if you read it, Susie, you would be just as pissed as I am, honestly. Just
Because
read the damn comments.
Because he was like being misleading and being a smartass about it. Is that what thing is too?
Just, I'm telling you, you got to do the research, like go in the database, take a couple of days, look over the comments, and you will piece it together. And once he like has this thing figured out and he knows he has it figured out, he just turns into a cocky little shit. And he just screwing with people. And then it's just like it's just weird stuff. Like for instance, there's a comment where he talks about how he knows certain things has to be a part of the poem. And one of them says it has to be a natural barrier to explain the 200-footer, meaning a river. He talks about that.
Nomadic Madman says, I'm not sure what's happening here. I feel like I should be angry now. Damn it.
Can you say she's overreaching? Woman, I'm finding more stuff than you are. Shush up. I'm allowed to be pissed off. Like, honestly, this ending is shit.
What I don't care how you know what, no matter what his life was before and how this happened, the only thing that I'm mad about at Jack about is trying to tell us all to move on without any, or has anyone actually, has those words come out of his mouth ever? Did he tell everybody to move on? Or that's what I want to know about. Is he throwing us all off for realsies? I mean, and if he is, I still don't believe it because I can't believe that he's that cold. You know, I could believe a person could find it and then move it and then not pick it up and then go. If it's still out in the wilderness, it's still out there. And so I can see.
Do you remember
in
2019 when Sasha used to do her videos about the scrapbooks and translating them, like trying to figure out what they meant? Do you remember that? I can't remember. I think it was before September, clearly, but there was a scrapbook where she was deciphering it and she said she believed this was Fen telling us that someone had it solved on paper. Do you remember that? They had it solved on paper, but not boots on the ground. That was Jack. So when you look at Christy's map from wherever the heck Jack was in 2018, 2019, 2020, 2019, he goes from Colorado Springs to, I think it was West Yellowstone, from West Yellowstone to Hell's Half Acre, from Hell's Half Acre to actual Yellowstone, then from Yellowstone to Santa Fe. It's like, why did he do that in 2019? That's weird, right? And then 2020, he did a straight shot from Colorado Springs to Yellowstone National Park to Santa Fe. Why did he go to Santa Fe 2 times, 2019 and 2020? Why?
Good question. I see my name in the chat and it's Mark Williams says, I think it was Fen that said that he was surprised people haven't moved on. I don't believe that either. I don't believe that either. That is hearsay. I didn't hear that come out of Forrest's mouth myself, and I don't believe that.
Well, I've heard people say that Forrest said that, but I don't know if
I don't believe that. I think Forrest. That's making me that that we're being asked to believe that Forrest is stupid or Forrest didn't understand depth that people were in on this
Mm.
chase, and to say that he did not comprehend his own making. I mean, that's just like, I don't believe that. There's no way I can. And why would he? No, that, somebody show me a video of him telling everybody that. Otherwise, that is BS, hearsay in my world. Even Forrest himself telling me to move on is not going to make me move on. I mean, the man himself could turn up video.
in my head, I've got a quote where he's saying the chase is over, it's been found. Why are people still talking about it?
Yeah, but that was a quote,
something like that.
From what? I mean, that wasn't a real. Was that something he said, or was it in
I've got it in my head that it
something
came
you
from
read,
Forrest.
or was it something you saw?
I can't remember, Susie. I can't remember. I might be making it up. I just got it in my head. I don't know.
I know exactly what you're talking about too, because I think that's what we were being sold, or that feels like K-Pro. Is she still in here? That feels
K-Pro,
like something she told us about, that Forrest said he was surprised people were not moving on. It feels like this was recycled information and not from the horse's mouth.
K-Pro said, Adam, I had a heated exchange with Forrest on that subject. K-Pro, please expand. Can you expand on that?
And that makes me have to believe that this, like, I have to believe K-Pro had this conversation, and a heated conversation with Forrest. I don't believe that. I mean, I can't believe that. You're asking me.
I mean, Susie, in 2019, when I was at Fenn's house for the Friend Bereaved thing, he was telling me about big surprises coming. He was talking about documentary. Like, Marty was supposed to be in this documentary, and then some people, like Sashi, posted it on her Facebook, and they got all bitchy and like messaged him. So then he told her she couldn't be a part of it anymore. And when I asked him about it, he said it was too like top secret to talk about, and it was like a lot of money. So I still to this day don't know what the hell it is. It's possible it could be Jigsaw Productions. I'm not sure. Like, I only know.
And this is Forrest said this?
Yeah. This is Forrest in his own damn words telling me this stuff when I was at his house in 2019.
Well, 2019, we know that Femboree was being filmed by a couple different documentaries.
No, he was talking about like a big documentary, and it wasn't going to be coming out in 2019. He said like there was things lining up. He was going to have Marty in it and like some other people. Like the OG
like this is people. Bigger than right. Like
it was a big one
being filmed right now.
Yeah, I think it might be the Jigsaw one, but I'm not sure. Because I even tried asking Marty, like, "Hey, do you know what documentary he wanted you to be in?" And she's like, "I have no idea. I'm still trying to figure that out." So right now we know
there's obviously somebody has footage of Forrest Fenn that we have not seen yet. Obviously, somebody.
Well, we know because of my interview with Dan Barbarisi, he's got a shit ton of footage with Fenn, and I asked him if he'd release it, and he said no. What's that about?
Well, there's reasons, so it's like, and people know this. So why doesn't anybody that's actually making these or this documentary, why don't they just come out and tell the Fenn community and say, this is what's happening? God's sakes, would that ruin everything?
This is what I've been doing.
Would that kill everything? Would that ruin it if somebody just went?
Well, I know a lot of the documentarians. I know a lot of the documentarians can't do that because they're in competition with other documentarians and producers to get the story picked up from networks before the other ones, right? I understand that part. But most of the time,
is that the game? Is that why they're using all the characters in the story that are the real people in the story? That just makes me so angry to hear
Susie,
some Hollywood
Susie,
reason.
K-Pro said that Forrest thought that once the treasure chest was said to be found, he thought everyone would move on. He said he was shocked.
He thought everyone would move on without knowing the location, without knowing the poem solve. He just thought people were going to move on without the solve. Is that what they thought?
Well, that's what he told K-Pro, apparently, yeah.
Really? He thought, oh, no, everyone's just going to quit working on the puzzle and just, I don't believe that. I cannot believe that he created this for one person.
No, you know what doesn't
I
make
can't.
sense is the fact that Jack was following Marty. Matt reached out to Marty to find out where she searched for God knows what reason. And now
Matt
they're all
who?
up there searching her old stomping grounds with Gallatin's stomping grounds too. It makes no effing sense. If they're so sure they know where the freaking chest was, which is, by the way, their playmate was across the Madison, across the creek from 9 Mile Hole, why the hell are they still out there poking around wanting to know where Marty was? Makes no effing sense.
It's going to have to make sense sooner or later, you know, and so us piecing to piece together the, you know, what is really happening by not knowing anything, just all these hearsay pieces is, you know, it's painful. I want some real damn.
I don't get involved in it, Susie. I'm no longer interested in all the conspiracies, all the theories. Until we hear some real
That's
facts,
all we got.
facts,
we don't have anything else. You know?
Yeah, like Jack talking to Copper Dan. That was a real interesting point for me.
And I try to take the high road and work on the poem myself, or that's what
continue.
like, let's look at this and let's let's figure this out. But I go, I go from like screw it, I'm gonna figure it out without all the rest, and it doesn't matter who's trying to guard one information. If somebody else figures out the poem without Jack, he can control nothing. He can't control somebody. He could never control me going, this is what it is, if I figured it out myself. So I go from that to, but there's this mental, it's something mental. It's like knowing that it's not a thing anymore. And it's like, it's not the same. I can't get that same, that same fire for it. And that need for information of research that I would do every day because I needed to research this, that, and the other. And I can't find that same hook, that
it's because the chest is gone. You know that ultimately, if you were to solve the poem now and work out the location, you would go there and there'd be nothing there. So you're not going to have the same fire.
No, that I could never even go. Even if I did figure it out, I could never afford to just go there and look at nothing anyway. I couldn't do it. I mean, there's just so many, where it just seems ridiculous at this point. But then again, solving it, and there would still be a immense satisfaction in solving it for yourself, or solving it myself, or and nothing that I've seen or that I've come up with myself is good enough yet, is not it. I know it's not it, it's like, I know what it's going to be when I see it or hear it. I know what's going to be right. And I just feel that really strongly, and it hasn't happened yet. And to make myself get into that mindset where I couldn't turn it off. It was like every day it was like, okay, this, and then I'm going to go here and here and here and here and here and here. And I crank out videos more than one a day, minutes, whatever. I did that every day. And it was like, that fire of research is just not, now that fire research is looking at a Reddit database, trying to figure out what Jack said before, that's the information we have. Nobody's, here's our opportunity to work on this puzzle, everybody at once, and
Candy, have you got your headphones in? Because I'm getting feedback from since you came on. I'm hearing Susie talk back twice.
Susie, for what it's worth, Five Leaf Blaze says you've got more hate than Jack, so don't give up. He said you've said more out loud. And I think you're right. I think we get to share freely in this community now that it's already out of the bag, which is sort of cool.
Yeah, now that it's out of the bag, it's like irrelevant. And then, but there's still like so many different mindsets about it. Like some people are really still protected of the information that they've dug up.
Oh, you know what? Fuck you, Shannon.
Uh-oh, what's going wrong? Shannon, who?
Nothing. Hold on. Sorry. I thought it was on mute. Sorry.
Yeah, actually, we're getting feedback, Indy. If you can mute, that would be awesome.
Or just put your headphones in.
Or here, I could.
It's when the headphones aren't in. You hear
She
the back of
muted
the phone.
herself. Oh, she did it herself so she can swear at whoever she's swearing at.
Yeah, now I want to know who Shannon is.
Yeah, who's Shannon in the? Oh, there's Copper Dan. Hi, Copper Dan.
Copper Dan, what's the total at so far?
Hopefully, you know who Shannon is.
Here's Copper Dan's link.
Yeah, post it in there. What's the new total? I mean, the new target, is it 10,000?
Oh, okay. You scared K-Pro off, Indy. I gotta go. Oh, give me back.
Too much Reddit database talk. Scared her off.
Oh.
Oh.
Shannon makes me angry. Okay, so the drama.
So St. Jude fundraiser is at 77.45, and I think that's so awesome.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So much money.
They set a new goal. Is it 10,000 the new goal?
Yeah, 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, Dan. That's amazing, mate. Absolutely bang on.
So he's like $2,300, not even $2,300 away from his goal.
And of course, I need to mention a little plug for Dan. If we get to 10,000, he will show us the other signature that Jack did on his poem, on his map.
Oh, that's awesome. Yep.
Which I, for one, would love to see, just to see how he signed it and whatnot.
Bobby D says, Susie Fanny, you can't ever know now if you have a solve because Jack destroyed the last clue, the blaze. No matter what, you'll never know for sure. Yeah. Just
so
like he knew for sure.
But Bobby, he didn't destroy the blaze. He said it was left to nature. He didn't say he destroyed the fake blaze, but he never said he destroyed the real blaze.
Right.
That's per an email to me. Sorry.
And he knew what the blaze was, what to look for. He knew what it was through the book, a clue in the book. From what I understand, is what he shared enough information through emails and stuff that he knew the location and he knew what the clues were and he knew what the blaze was. And so that's what got, threw him off was there was a fake blaze, right? So I think if he did that, I think anyone else could do that as well, without even having the chest. I think there's something so convinced, so like there's got to be a key. There's something that unlocks this, right? And then once you got that, and it says it's got to be one of those like, oh, that's it. There's got to be no other, like, this is a maybe, and when I get there, I'm gonna see if it's got to be. This is it. It's got to be the like whatever. It's got to be the east entrance of Yellowstone. It's got to be blah blah blah. It's going to be a description of a place that's no other. It's going to be boom, whatever it is. So
I reckon that might be wishful thinking, though, Susan.
Of actually figuring it out, or thinking that
getting a solution that's that specific that it can't be anything else.
He did. You know,
yeah, but he
you
still
know,
spent
didn't he?
25 days, didn't he, looking for it? So he didn't walk straight
Because
to
of
it, did he?
because of the fake blaze, he said, you
Yeah.
know.
Mm.
Forrest said you could walk right up to it, you know. So what do you believe in? What do you but I just believe that he knew confidently where it was in whatever 2019. He knew. And so there's a
Yeah,
way
but
to do that. There's a way to do that and feel like that's it.
yeah, but there's so many people in
I
the
know, but
community
nobody's
who
really
yeah, but
showed me
there's so many
anything that
people
was so
who are
made me
who
think
are
so.
utterly yeah, but everyone's utterly convinced they're correct. People are utterly convinced of their solves, and nothing will change their mind. They're that convinced, and they can't all be right. Only one person was right. So
They can't
being
all be wrong either, you know. Isn't that
yeah, well,
school?
no, one
Not
of them
everyone
was
could be wrong.
yeah, but you need that confirmer. You can be totally convinced you're right, but until you can walk up and pick up that treasure chest, that's the confirmer that you need, and that confirmer is no longer there. So it's difficult for me how anyone can be totally convinced of their solve now without the prize at the end of it.
Yeah, it would just have to, I think that would be something that would be, if it was something that I figured out, saw myself in the book, whatever, maybe that would do it.
Well, that's the way to get your closure. Find that absolute certainty in your mind that you solved it, and then you can maybe walk away.
Yeah, that's it. And so God, would that even be possible? It would have to be something like so, just thinking about how working on the poem all these years and working on the book all these years, whatever. I've skipped over so many things. Where do you stop discounting things and actually take it as that's it, I mean, that's the gist of it all. And so, but he did it. And so where does, Gallatin Ghost says, or Lucky Digger to Gallatin, it all depends on how damaged. Yeah, how damaged was the blade, or yeah, that whole Blaze story is just so.
Candy, you've been so salty recently. I think I'll start my own documentary. I call it The Sellouts of the Chase.
Yeah, I am salty because these assholes that I thought were my friends and we're here to help support the community aren't our friends and are not here to support the community. They're just in it for the fucking money.
No, I don't believe that either. I don't want to. That's icky.
Yeah, I was in your shoes, Susie. I thought the same thing too. Good luck with that though.
I guess everyone's doing.
It doesn't matter.
I guess everyone's doing what they want, what they feel they need to do themselves to get their closure. Ultimately, everyone's making their own decisions, aren't they? And that's theirs, I guess, which is their prerogative.
All I know is every time Christy gets close to finding something, someone else tries to do something to either cover it up or make it go away. And I'm just tired of the cover-ups. Like, if you knew all the stuff that we knew, you'd be pissed off too.
Bobby D says, I still believe that the blaze was an extra clue that told the finder where the chest was. Maybe Hell's Half Acre. Then Jack went back there to destroy that last clue, in my opinion. So is Hell's Half Acre? I know nothing about this, you guys. I don't know. I know it's in Wyoming. That's it. Is it inside the park? Outside the park? Is it reservation? What kind of land is it?
He said in the Reddit comments, it was public land. And he also
So-
paid very close attention to the Too Far to Walk map because Ben said, you know, somewhere on the highlighted area of that map, the chest was. So he only searched the highlighted areas when he just first started everything.
All right. That's a good good idea for anybody, you know, why would you? Or you mean like the actual, let me look. So is Hell's Half Acre, oh,
Hell's
Like the
Half Acre,
yellow
Susie, is actually the place where Skippy dropped Fenn off in the long ride home. I have an
oh,
email
so it's
from him.
between Shoshone and Casper?
Yeah, so I messaged him after the chest was found, and I told him, I was like, hey, I've been working on this for a while. I don't think it's a solution, but I saw that these are where the postmarks match and everything. I was like, did Skippy drop you off at Hell's Half Acre? And like his response was funny. I was just like, aha. So when Christy and Ben were like following, you know, Jack's tracks in 2019, they were on my channel the day before and they were just like, hey, let's just randomly drop a pin anywhere in Wyoming, just name a place. And I was like, Hell's Half Acre. And all of a sudden they started laughing so hard, like Christy couldn't even keep a straight face. She physically got up and left the camera. And I'm like, what are you guys laughing at? And then the next day it turns out they were laughing because Jack went to Hell's Half Acre. So I still don't know,
You know,
why he
and
went there.
what fits about that is what Jack said in his confirmation bias video when he's like, you know, when he was talking about relativity, living near the Rocky Mountains, in any of the state, proximity bias, that you are more apt to search Montana if you live in Montana, and so on. And he also, in that same breath of conversation, he said that the searching a place that didn't seem as fun or as interesting as another place, just because, you know, you make yourself not rule out places that didn't seem as fun as going someplace else. So going to Hell's Half Acre doesn't sound as fun as going to Yellowstone National Park, you know? So it kind of does fit into that
Well,
scenario.
I saw that he said on Reddit for like 2018, he started off by just driving around and getting the lay of the land of all the places he knew Fenn went. So, because he knew it was like an emotional connection that tied him to the place. So he said he only went to places that were mentioned in the book. And then another thing is that we all know he's like obsessed with talking about confirmation bias, right? There were like 7 separate times where he mentions confirmation bias in comments on Reddit. And one of them specifically, he's having a conversation with himself with confirmation bias. And he talks about how the image from page 99, you know, the little map thing, is actually like a map. And then it talks about how there's an X pointing to an X, which explains, you know, when Fenn signed page 99 and did the X pointing to the X. And he ended up taking his search location on Google Earth and maneuvering that around until it matched the drawing exactly. And then it just so happened that the overlay of the X happened to be right where the pin was, where he had a search spot. So there's a lot of really good
And
stuff.
this is okay. This is Jack on Reddit saying this,
yes,
right?
The Condor 2. If people want to be, you know, stubborn and say, oh, we have no proof it's not the Jack, it's the Condor 2, whatever. The Condor 2, that just so happens to talk just like Jack, say the same things as Jack, move to Puerto Rico like Jack, all the stuff he's saying. And the reason why it took him 25 days off and on to find the treasure is because the final thing, I think it was like early 2019, he said he knew that Blaze was damaged. And then he knows he's looking for an F on a pine tree, but he can't find it. So he said he uses the drawing from Epilogue, which shows, you know, the cut down stumps and stuff, to narrow it down. So it's freaking a pine tree, like.
Okay, so what about the fake Blaze story and him? Okay,
that's the thing. Okay, you know how you said the comment about how Jack specifically said it couldn't be as simple as an F marked on a tree? That was what he said about the fake Blaze, not the real Blaze. Like, you go back to that Medium article.
But he said he saw a fake Blaze from the parking lot, or in the distance. He saw this fake Blaze, and he thought it was a real blaze. And so that takes a mark off a tree away. It just seems like, because from a distance, you can't see that, you know, it's like he saw it from far away and thought, you know, so it makes it think that it's larger than some F on a tree. And you know what? I need to acknowledge that I got $50 sent to my account from Mystery Matthew, is all I'm going to call him, in the chat. And thank you so much. Thank you, Matthew. Really. I mean, he just said his comment is, great show tonight, Susie. And he sent me $50. So I have to just acknowledge that. He doesn't want to be known. He's, I don't know who in the chat. It's somebody that's listening, but.
That's so nice how he supports you like that. Good on you, Matthew, mate.
It's so good. It's so good.
So
Thank
sweet.
you. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, even Carrie Galloway says the Condor 2 linked 3 articles Jack wrote in 2011. It's the same guy. And he's right. There's like political articles that Jack wrote a long time ago. Then the whole reason people started looking at the Condor 2, especially Ben, like Ben was the first one, which makes me kind of suspicious, by the way. That was the first person to ever link the Medium article about the Finder on Reddit. And then if you dig deep enough, you find they posted on other sites called Sci-Fi Addicts, which used to have conversations with Shadowcaster, by the way, but it just magically disappeared after I mentioned it. So, hey, nothing covering up there. But yeah,
Shadowcaster too.
Jack
Go
is
ahead.
Totally the Condor 2. It's like ridiculous if you don't see it.
You guys, here's the thing. I'm out of beer. So either
go and get some more.
Run down to the fridge and get another beer out of the fridge, or be done. You guys want to? Did you have enough?
I'm okay to carry on. I don't know what the chat's saying. Candy, Holly, are you staying on for a bit?
Susie, we can hold down the fort, but whatever you want to do, I respect.
I'm gonna run.
Susie loves it. She wants to go all night.
I just need another beer.
Don't forget
I'll be right back.
All right. Susie
Candy, it's you guys Reddit, driving into the drink.
Okay, I'll stop talking. It's cool.
So, regarding the Reddit, is there anywhere the Condor 2 states where he was searching? Like an actual location, or just does it just say where was that?
So it changes up. So around end of late 2018, early 2019, before April, he's obsessed with the stretch of the Madison. He's obsessed from like Madison Junction over to Baker's Hole, but then he ends up changing his mind about something about Baker's Hole. And then he strictly just focuses on like the 7-mile bridge to 9-mile hole. And it's because he's following Marty. Like if you read the Scrapbook 50 that Fenn wrote about Marty, where he gave her the double omegas, he talks about how if he was a betting man, he would bet on that woman. And he talks about how she spent 4 days searching a stretch of the Madison. And I used to be research partners with Marty, so I know exactly where she used to search. And back in 2013, because Jack is obsessed with this database on Dale site, where you can go and just look at the stories when people went boots on the ground from 2011 to 2013. He is not interested in anything else. And I remember he started the chase in 2018, but he's only searching from 2011 to 2013. And Marty was on the 9-mile, the Madison stretch in 2013. And then it wasn't until I think late 2013, early 2014, she switched over to Hebgen. So he's like following her. And when she starts posting a lot about like Hebgen and all this other stuff, he starts actually changing his research and looking into Hebgen. He doesn't physically ever go there, but on the Reddit site, he starts talking about certain spots like Coffin Mountain and Ghost Village, like anywhere she was, Watkins Creek, like it gets weird. So I know the main thing is he had a certain like layout of what the clues had to be in order to explain the comments Fenn said, especially like the 200-footer. And there's just like so much. Like I took a bunch of screenshots, but I need to go over it again and like highlight it and color code it and all sort of stuff. But that's what I'm saying. Like, not to sound like a broken record, just go to the damn database, read the comments, and make your own assumptions.
Are you going to make a video and put the bullet points, what you found on the database?
I don't know. I kind of want to, but then I kind of want to do one and just say F off to your own damn search. I'm tired of like doing this research, trying to help people being dicks about it. It's just like, I'm tired of it.
Who's do your own damn search.
Yeah, do your own damn research. I tried helping. You're jerks, so figure it out yourself.
Who's being a dick about it?
There's a lot of people being dicks about it in chat, for one.
Well, I genuinely think you should make a video and put it all in there so people can understand exactly what you found, and then people can make up their own minds, can't they?
It's just so annoying though. Like, I did that before, and what happened? Everyone just took my freaking ideas and research, and there you go. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't really care.
I assume Jack is messing with us, says Nomadic Madman.
He is, Susie, but not
why? What is his motivation? Is he really? I don't want to believe that of him, that he's like that cruel, just to like
Team Jack.
Like he holds the power. He knows he does.
There's like one comment on Reddit where Jack's actually like caring, where he is telling this one person not to be an idiot and cross the Madison during a certain time. So he's like, wear a life jacket. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool of him. But everything else, he's just like, there's one part where he's just like straight up just like R-rated asshole. And I'm like, oh, okay. And you got to read the one where he just goes off on a searcher because they're like, there's no way it could be a tree or a rock. And he's just like, he gets so mad. I'm like, oh, okay, tell us how you really feel. But you can't take anything really what he says after September, like I want to say early November 2019 is when you like kind of have to stop listening to what he's saying, because by then he already knows where it is. He's got the thing solved. He's trying to move to Puerto Rico. So the rest is like just decoy.
Andy, I think it's possible that it's even earlier than that. He started his YouTube channel in June, I believe it's around the 15th, and posted his cognitive bias video by June 27th. And I think by that point, he sounds extremely confident on that video. He sounded not confident when he spoke to Toby, but I think that had more to do with being in a public forum live.
Was that before April? Because he like Kpro, well, at least I believe that's what Kpro thinks. It's what I think. In April of 2019, we believe he had it like figured out after, because first he was obsessed with page 99 illustration, like Reddit proves that. Then he got that Santa Fe, New Mexico tourism interview, the unedited one. And the only thing that was taken out of the unedited versus, or the original versus the unedited, is the comment about the drawings. So he gets that video, here's that thing about the drawing, has the picture where Fen drew an X pointing to an X, has that weird conversation with himself about confirmation bias. Very next day, he flies to Colorado Springs, to West Yellowstone area, and it's just like he's boots on the ground. Like, it makes no sense. So he was confident, he figured something out, but the only thing that led him from, like, kept him from like actually getting the chest itself was finding the damaged blaze. Like, that's the only thing that set him back. He knew for a fact that he had the search location. It was there. He was ready. I'm surprised
he
didn't
Indy, let me ask you, okay, so all this research that, you know, the Reddit stuff, and I know you're not the only one that has gone deep into this. What have you guys all scared up? So the theory is it's Hell's Half Acre is where the final test, or was it across the Madison?
No. Okay,
so what does Hell's Half Acre have to do with anything?
So basically, Christy has Jack's like boots on the ground, like where he went from point A to point B or whatever, right? And in 2019, he went to Colorado Springs, to West Yellowstone. Then from West Yellowstone, he went to Hell's Half Acre. And then from Hell's Half Acre, he went to the western part of Yellowstone National Park. And then from Yellowstone National Park, he went to Santa Fe. That was in 2019. 2020, he does a straight shot from Colorado Springs straight to the western part of Yellowstone. Then from there, he goes straight to Santa Fe.
So it's like he ruled that out.
Yeah, he ruled out Hell's Halfacre. Whatever Hell's Halfacre has to do with it, I have no idea. I did some research on it. It's very interesting. I had to solve for that before, but I don't know what he did there. But when he allegedly, if you believe, he went in June 6th of 2020 to pick up that chest, he did a straight shot from Colorado Springs to the western part of Yellowstone. He didn't go to Hell's Halfacre, so he didn't like pick up the chest there. It was somewhere in the western part of Yellowstone National Park, from the research that is pointing, where the chest resided. And he went straight from there to Santa Fe and delivered the chest to Penn. But why did he go in 2019 to Santa Fe after he did a recon for boots on the ground? That's what I don't get. And
Okay,
it seems
so
like
that's
if you
like
want,
a you and
well, if you want to
so
go
is
on like
the assumption
conspiracy
he met
theories,
with Forrest, or why would he run down?
that's what I'm saying. Like, why did he do that? Like, why would he go to Santa Fe twice?
And
one in
where's
2019 and
our
2020?
And this is all Reddit information, right?
Yeah, it's Reddit information and stuff that Christie's been compiling, and it's crazy. And what I find interesting, and I think Marty totally agreed with this, and Gallatin did too, is that I think in 2019, Jack knew he had to figure it out on paper, but not based on like finding, the blaze. So he went to Fenn, told him about it. That's why we got the scrapbook about someone figuring it out on paper, just not boots on the ground. And then that's why in 2020, or from 2019 up until 2020, Fenn did like a scrapbook dump. And if you read it, it's like certain messages that sounds like he's telling certain people to get their butt out there. And I think it was his like final warning to like get someone else to get that damn thing. So it's interesting. I think Fenn was, tipped off that something big was coming. And that's why when I was at his house in, I think it was July 2019,
Yeah.
he said like big surprises would be coming in 2020.
I know, and Cynthia made a video about that, saying, or somehow I relate that information coming from Cynthia, saying Forrest said 2020, there's going to be something big coming in 2020.
Yeah.
So that is something Forrest, and and then the pandemic, it's just like, God,
it's just so frustrating though. Like, you do know that this whole database that we have from Roomrock, that posted on the Hidden Riches, it's not the whole database. Like, there is someone that is in Reddit actually deleting forever certain comments from Jack that probably could have broken this whole thing open. And it pisses me off for one, but two, all these things that like are in the database now, the 74 pages, they were deleted. We had they had to go onto a different site and recover these deleted comments to see what was originally written. But there's some that just
I mean, that's some perseverance there, trying to track that, take that lead and go through all that.
Someone's trying to just like cover their ass. And it's not just that. Jack was talking to someone else. So we think it could be that silent partner he met in Colorado Springs, possibly. Like, someone is going over the like way above and beyond to cover something up. And allegedly, according to Cynthia, her and Justin and the Nookers were the first ones to ever discover Jack's Reddit handle. So, but I know that's bullshit, because I know Ben was the first one to discover it with Roomrock. So I don't know. Someone on some team is having someone delete Jack's comments and things from Reddit that talk about the solution.
Candy, it seems to me that this Reddit database has created more questions than answers.
What are you talking about? We know what the blaze is. We know the search area.
We don't know. We don't know, do we? We think we know, but we don't know for sure. There's no concrete answers in there. It's all, we're back to the theories, aren't we?
She's gonna cut you.
How is a theory when you're literally sitting there and reading in Jack's own words how he thought, where he went, what he bought, how he solved it, and when he solved it? Like, I'm not making this up. I'm literally sitting there reading Jack's own words. So Please explain that to me.
Rudy Green says the Condor 2 deleted their own comments. He went back and deleted his own stuff.
Yeah, well, how can you explain how the certain Reddit posts that he commented on got deleted? He didn't make those posts. A whole different account made those posts.
Well, isn't it true? Just like when you do a YouTube comment and then people comment on your comment, and then if somebody goes back and deletes their original comment, all the underneath it gets deleted as well. Right?
Well, yeah, no,
I mean, I don't know
that.
if that's how Reddit works, but that's how YouTube works.
Basically, like with Reddit, you know, you have certain users making posts on Reddit. And if you comment under that post, yeah, you could delete it yourself and make it go away. That's fine. But how do you explain the original post getting deleted and the people he's having conversations with getting deleted? That's what's not adding up. Who is he talking to? And why are certain posts that, honestly, I found some stuff where I was like, if I knew what this post was about, we would know what happened. Yet it's absolutely deleted. The person who posted it's deleted. Anyone he was having a conversation with in regards to that comment being written is deleted. That doesn't make sense.
Okay.
And yet we're still no closer to finding out anything.
Exactly. Yes. Well, I mean, because it's all, yeah, where is it all going? That's the thing. And Jack does have the power to make it all.
It's all in Jack's hands. He's got ultimately the power to end it for everyone. If he wanted to come out and say, this is where I found it, that would be it. And I think one day he will. Like you said, Susie, earlier, I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he probably wants to give us the answers, but for some reason right now he can't. But I think he will down the line. Or is that just me being wishful thinking?
I just think there's no way. I mean, for him, especially if this is the capital gain, like his whole idea of the money to be made, the money is in the story and how he's gonna present the story or whatever it is. Just walking away and just like auctioning the chest off and you know, without any of the extras that could be happening, movie, documentary, whatever, reality show, whatever it is, he'd be silly to leave that money on the table is what I think, and walk away with just the, you know, what he could get for the goal. And at this point, you're right, when it comes to make that chest worth much more, he's going to have to explode the story even more than, like, to me, the story feels huge, but I could ask several people, you know, that never ever heard of the Forrest Fenn story before, you know, but it feels like, how can people not know about this story, you know, just because I'm so in it. But I think it's got to go, like, he has the power to blow this huge up and make a ton of money on the whole documenting the sale of the chest, or dragging more people that aren't in the chest or in the chase already, dragging them in. It does make the most sense. Yep, makes no sense. There's more money outside of the chest than there would be in the chest.
But he said he doesn't want the whole celebrity thing. He doesn't want to do the books. He doesn't want to do the talk shows. He doesn't want to do the movies. He said that.
Is that what he said? Who said that he said that?
Oh, no, Jack, I'm sure Jack said he's got no interest in becoming a celebrity through this. I do think he is a shy guy. I know people might disagree with that, but I don't think he wants to be famous.
Yeah, but there's a way to do this without, you know, him being recognizable and being the famous person, you know? there's a way to do that. You know, like you don't have to be
I don't know if he can maximize the media money if he's not prepared to reveal himself.
but he was you know, he was in the media previous, so it just seems like such a perfect fit. Like if he's all about the money, why not maximize the money? And if that's what it's, you know, or why even bother at all? You know, why not just kept your mouth shut, never told Forrest, and then just sold off a gold nugget here and there, gold nuggets through a normal ever, you know, if he's just about money and the capture of it and not really maximizing it. There's other ways he could.
Susie, I asked him the question. I emailed Jack and I said, do you now wish, in hindsight, that you had done that, taken the chest and told nobody? And his answer was no, because I felt that I owed it to the community to tell them that it had been found.
Yeah, but there's a way to do that. You know, just Forrest said it was found and that's it. I mean, and not gone any further. I mean, I think there's a different. Yeah, sure. But how do you have to prove it? You can't just, but no matter what, Forrest could have controlled that story and just not ever, I don't know. It just seems like there's a way of being completely anonymous.
Yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? I'm sure if Jack could do it all over again, I'm sure he would do a lot of it differently. But we are where we are.
Right. Hopperdan says he told me the exact same thing. What? I missed.
We got the cheesy hash brown, remember? Thanks so big.
Cool. I'm getting. Can you hear that?
Yeah. Oh. Indy rustling around in the background. Rudy Green, Susie. What?
Getting ice cream. I can't have beer.
I tried to do. The courts forced him out of hiding. Wrongly, I believe. Right. That's the story, though. I mean, that's the story. Ugh. Can't believe that oh, and after all that, the person doing that, responsible for that maneuver, still doesn't believe it. You know, that is the tough pill to swallow after dragging that information out and then refusing to offer. They were offered, we will show you the chest. We'll meet you in the lawyer's office and show you the chest. And they went, no. You know, I mean, it's
how
like
that goes,
such
Susie?
Is that true? Was Barbara offered? Was that true? Was Barbara offered to see the chest? Huh, did not know that.
Don't say her name, Susie. You're gonna summon her like freaking Voldemort.
Adam said it.
For as many videos, Adams, as you've watched of hers, I can't believe you don't know that. I'm a little ashamed.
I'm surprised. Genuinely, that is the first I've heard of that she had the chance to go and look at the chest. Why on earth didn't she go?
She turned it down. I don't know. I can't remember
why.
Because she's like, I didn't need to see it because, or I can't remember what her.
Susie, you just
sure she deleted the video.
A Saturday morning video of her going live talking about you for about an hour and dropping your name about 50 times. Just letting you know.
He does
be
that
prepared.
anyway without me saying anything.
Make sure you have your coffee in the morning before it goes down, because I had to watch so many when I didn't have coffee, and I was like, this is the worst.
But yeah, that's what they you know, lawyer to lawyer, offered her the opportunity to view the chest and she turned it down. So, I mean, how?
Hang on though, Susie. Who said this? Did Barbara say
Barbara.
this? Well, is it true then? I mean, no offense to Barbara, but is it true? Have we just got her word for it, or?
Yeah, I think it was like a court. I think it was like court things. Like, I think that's how we know. I think it was more like, God, I can't remember now. It really seemed like it was like
the video.
I'm
I
amazed that
remember.
someone would turn that opportunity down. It's incredible to me.
yeah, because she doesn't believe or thinks it was that doesn't prove where the chest was, or I don't know what his name was at the time. I don't know, but I know that that's what happened. And so it's like there's nothing that just
I'm surprised she didn't go and just carry the chest out of there because she believes it's hers, right? She believes it's rightly hers. She'd be like, okay, well, thank
flying.
She'd be like, thank you for showing me. I'm now taking the chest as it's rightfully mine.
I know.
I just got a vision of her grabbing it and running out the door with all the
It
coins
spills
falling
out
out the
everywhere.
Oh, where's that bloody olive jar? She's there screwing it on the table trying to read it.
All the way out the door. She's got a trail of coins.
Adam,
Oh,
are you gonna be going
God.
to her camp out?
I would love to go to her camp out, but unfortunately I can't get over there. COVID.
You want to be
killed
there,
it.
so you can be like, Barbara, your hair looks wonderful today.
Babs.
Very hands.
Babs. No, I've got nothing against Barbara. I think she's she's a very nice person, and I would love to go to her camp out, but unfortunately, like I said, I
Would
can't.
you, honestly?
Adam, would you bring
not gonna-
cake or would you bring pie to this camp out?
I'm not
I
going
want
to
to
be.
know.
I'm not going to
Definitely
be
cake. Really cake. Pineapple,
ma-
fried pineapple pies.
maybe both. How's that? I'll take both.
But I'm already on the do not, you're not coming list. Her do not invite list is long. And I'm
She
on
just
it.
inclined to acquiesce to your request.
Oh, when is it? When's she having it?
I think
Well,
Labor
it
Day or
depends on
something.
when the family contacts her and tells her about the chest and when they're going to give it to her. She's thinking anytime now the family's going to, any minute, the family's going to let her know. And so they can deliver it to the camp out. The chest and the family is going to do that.
Yeah, that's just sad, isn't it? It's kind of sad that
It
she's at that place. Oh well.
It is. I do.
It's just a funny thought of her just grabbing the chest and running out the door with the lawyers chasing after her. It's mine. I found it.
Oh my God, Adam. You took my ice cream.
Oh,
Adam's gonna
God.
be on the naughty list by 8 a.m.
You are
Yeah,
not
I'm
invited.
gonna be banned from the meet.
You're on the
Oh.
naughty
Oh my God. Oh.
Oh, Bob, I'm sorry.
You're gonna have to go in there and do a lot of groveling to make
42
up for it.
pounds.
Hey, Candy, this is almost as good as your fishing pick giggles.
I was literally
always
just
the-
gonna say that, Emily.
It's always the four of us here.
Like we get to the point where we just like make up the stupidest shit where we just like laugh to the point we can breathe.
Oh, man.
It's just
You know,
a
she's
funny image.
basically gonna transform into Golem. You know, it goes from like, where is it? Copper Dan's like my precious. You see where
Adam, you don't
she
get
goes
to
from
meet
like human to
cupcakes.
dark eyes to like full-on
Oh
creature.
no.
Stop laughing! You're making me laugh.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Oh, Barbara, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I
Barbara.
am so sorry, Barbara.
Sorry, not sorry.
Mhm.
No. God. Don't laugh like that in a while.
Here's the crazy part. Like bad behavior got rewarded then. It's like she almost got to see a chest that any of us would like give our left arm to see and run our fingers through.
Mm.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, maybe not Adam. I don't know. Adam's like sort of cranky all the time. But
No, I would love to see the chest, and I'm amazed that if she had the opportunity to see it, she didn't go. I'm amazed by that.
That was me snorting, Jeff.
And isn't she in Santa Fe anyway? So she's literally where the chest is.
You know, actually, to be fair with her, I'm not certain she was living. I think she might have still been living in Chicago when that offer was made to her. I'm not certain if she was actually in Santa Fe when that that became a part of it. I'm not sure.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. If I was in Barbara's position, I would go full on fucking Smeagol. I'd be like crouched on top of that chest, like, let me get your back. I fucking take it with me into Mount
There is
Doom.
no turning back. Why doesn't she go full on?
Sir, we have a
There's
woman
the only way
that is like
forward.
on the chest, and she will not leave the room. She's requesting curtains and YouTube.
Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah. Dude is yelling at me. He's like, "You're too loud. What the fuck?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I'm laughing too hard."
Lucky Digger says, "Why can't we see Adam?"
Because
he refuses to come on camera because it's like 4:00 in the morning.
Well, that, and I've got quite a long beard, so I'm looking I look like a tramp. I'm going out today. So I've grown my beard, so when I shave, I've got a nice clean shave, So yeah, I don't look too good right now. That's why
he's so British and such a liar at the same time.
you know I've got a beard because you've seen it, colleagues. You can back me up.
I could hear it the whole way from America that he had scrub. I tell you, ask him.
Wait, you can hear that? Can you hear that? As I rub it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So no camera today. Maybe next time.
That's a shame.
So Lucky Digger says it's a costume party. Don't forget.
Is it?
You ever saw the video where she made all the costumes for us, and if we ever wanted to be where the chest was located and see its contents, we would have to grovel at her feet and wear these costumes to humiliate ourselves in repentance.
I don't think she's actually told anybody where the camp out is either. I'm not. Maybe you have to be personally. Maybe you have to be personally invited.
Susie, you take bits of information that she tells you all the time and apply it to
I know,
things, you can narrow it down.
But she wants people to come to a camp out. Don't you think she needs to tell people where it is?
This is all just a con so she can get free cake. Come on. I do the same thing.
Oh man.
I'm having this is where the chest was party. I want cake.
Yeah, we all want cake.
Cake is good. That's fine.
Living your best Marie Antoinette life, man. Let them eat cake.
No kidding.
Just don't lose your head.
Too late.
I'm not going to comment on that part.
Off with her head. She's ordered so many people off with her head. There's no one left.
I know. Did you guys see that new video from Shy Guy where it talks about like Greg being in Santa Fe and like some stupid top secret private investigator?
Oh God. Please no.
I can't even keep up with the conspiracies anymore. Like, I think I need to make a murder board just for conspiracies alone.
It's just
I'm
it's
so
just made
done
up
with
crap. I know it's just
so done with them.
So done with them. I'm sticking to cake and bomb.
Wow, I've heard so many. There's been so many in the last few months, and so many rabbit holes that came to nothing, and dodgy sources, and after a while it's boring, doesn't it?
talk to me about dodgy sources when you know damn well I spent a week searching every damn actor under the sun in relation to The Walking Dead. Okay.
And where did that come to? Absolutely nothing. Again.
It made me never want to watch The Walking Dead again.
Just a waste of time.
Nomadic Madman says Susie Van Haven, does the camp out happen after she gets the chest? That's a valid question. What she explained is that she thinks Carl Sumner's, which is some lawyer somewhere in Santa Fe, is going to FedEx the chest to the campsite.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. That's her maybe.
You know, a small piece
but then
of me
she's
wants
been
her
waiting to
be
hear
right,
more.
Susie.
She's been waiting to hear more before she finalizes the is it Labor Day?
Yeah, Labor
holiday
Day.
is
Susie,
when
don't you like, does it like a small piece of you though kind of want Barbara to be right just to like ease her pain? Just be like, yeah, she was right. Give her the chest. Here you go. Here's a gold coin. It's like, there you go.
Okay, but I mean, would that really? I'm wondering
Honestly,
if she did get the chest delivered to her, then what's she gonna do? I mean,
I feel like if she actually did get the chest delivered to her, then this would explain the shit ending, and I would be cool with it. I'd be like, cool, good for you.
Her soul's in New Mexico, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, but
Oh, she also uses the sacred hoop, by the way, you guys. The sacred hoop, which is on the cover of Once Upon a While, also known as below, as above and so below. She was talking about it the other day, and I was like, oh, I already know what she's talking about. I know those stars for the
80s. No comment. I mean, I can't.
Hey, you guys, I was being too salty, so I got some ice cream to be a little sweeter. Okay, don't judge.
You know what's bugging me? Copper Dan's in here. I'm trying to rack my brains for great questions to ask him, but I know once we go, I'll think of a million questions. Right now, I can't think of one.
I had a super chat each one of my questions.
Kind. That's. I mean, right, David. Take the high road. Even when the person we're talking about takes the low road every time. Oh, see, now I just took the low road. Whoops.
So you're ready to see yourself in like curlers and like 50 cats tomorrow on like her feed? If she does it to you, I'll do it.
But I'm the center of her attention. That's fine.
I've got a question for Copper Dan. Copper Dan, I'll ask you quickly. You said that you've gained closure by meeting Jack. You feel at peace to a point now. Can I ask you why that is? Why do you think you feel that you've got closure? Is it something that Jack said to you? Or is it just the fact that you met Jack and you now believe that he is the legit finder and everything he says is correct? I'm kind of curious to know how you got your closure for meeting Jack.
Off with your head. Oh. Brett John says, boo, Jack's not the real owner. Haha.
Well, he is, isn't he?
Well, he is.
You know what I found out was interesting? You know,
until he has to turn it over to Barbara at the picnic or whatever.
Susie, did you watch Capra's show on Monday where she's like going over the Homer Brown emails with Ben?
I feel like, yeah, but now that you say that, I can't think of, huh?
Well, I caught something interesting because like there's one time where Fenn says no to the Homer Brown, and then he says yes, right? But the way he says it is in one email he says, no, the retriever did not tell me the correct Homer Brown. And then later on he says the finder, yes, told me the correct Homer Brown. So like he says retriever in one, which is a no.
Oh,
and then another time he says the finder, and he
I'm
says yes.
fine with that too, because so what if Jack is a person that's sent out to go pick it up, for somebody else who actually solved it. You know, I mean, I'm fine with that. He's the proxy finder.
I still think there's like evidence, like enough evidence to point Jack towards that mystery auction website from last year. There's some interesting stuff that's connecting.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't.
Not one bit.
You
That's a
should
great
like it,
question,
'cause if
Copperdan says.
Oh yeah. Oh, he just says that's a great question and he didn't respond to it.
Well, he has to think about how
No.
to answer it. I mean,
Yeah, give him time.
Bucky,
Don't you
you're
think it's
killing
weird
me.
how Ben said retriever for one and finder for the other?
Proxy finder. Not a finder of a proxy item. Don't get that confused.
Oh my god, David B is still like my precious. I can't wait for Amazon to release the TV series.
We all get it though. We get that. I know, but there's a, you know.
Oh, Susie, I got a good question for you.
Hey,
Really think on this. This is for the whole panel. Okay. Just like, let's pretend that like Amazon, Netflix, or like Hulu picked up a series for Finn and the community. Who do you think would portray all of the like the main YouTubers that we know best? Like who would
the real
play Desmond?
YouTubers.
No, like not us. I'd say like who would play a great like stand-in for Davio and like Huli and you and Barbara, like who do you think
No one.
would cast?
There's only one. That would be
It would be
it.
funny though. Like I like watching reality television, but I don't know if the world would be able to handle our crazy asses on TV all at once.
Well,
That would be fascinating.
Susie,
it would, and I don't know if it would only be fascinating to me because of knowing the characters already and the story, or you know, but somebody being a, how do you sell it to an outside?
I
Well,
would.
I mean,
I would want everyone to play themselves. Like, I can't imagine. I can't imagine anyone playing you, Susie, better than you play you. And like, who can play Candy better than Candy? Just play yourselves, you know.
yeah. Davio needs to be Davio. There's not a.
Yeah. Oh
You
God,
know?
yeah. Susie Copperdan replied in the chat. Do you want to read it?
It was just a great experience. I wish it could happen to all searchers, but I'm afraid Jack has checked out and I will be the only one. See, there he is.
There was one above that, Susie.
Sweet Copperdan is telling us all to move on again. It's like, no.
Before that, Susie,
No.
he says, I guess meeting him and just seeing how much he appreciated Forrest and all of us just confirmed he is the finder. He didn't tell me anything that anyone doesn't already know.
Right.
Which I totally believe.
I believe
And that's
that
fair,
too.
and that's fair enough. It was just a great experience. I wish it could happen to all searchers. Wouldn't that be great? But I'm afraid Jack has checked out and I will be the only one.
And I don't believe that. That's what he says. I'm afraid you could keep telling me that until you're blue in the face. But I don't believe it.
Dan
Because
asked
how could you? How could you? If this was like, this is such a life-changing, it's such a, how could you be the finder of Forrest Fenn's treasure and that's it? And then you're going to go on and live your life without ever, that's it? I mean,
I'm
it
sorry,
doesn't
Susie.
seem-
I'm like not a fan of it.
it doesn't seem possible or feasible or realistic that is how you do it, unless, you know, Jack came from a privileged situation to begin with. If he's come from a place where his background and upbringing is such a way that money and and that, you know, that the whole, but he's still a treasure hunter. So he knows. I keep having, you know, I just can't, I can't sort this out. I can't figure out how he could just, you know, find the closure without, he played a game. This is a game. We're all in a game, you know, he won the game. And to flip the checkerboard and run, I mean, that's not, I don't know.
Well,
Susie, did you see the comment where Jack talks about how he worked on, I think it was like the David Blaine or something treasure hunt?
Yeah,
Back in
he
like
did work on the
2011?
David Blaine.
So
And
it's
what?
funny because on the Reddit database, there's a comment where he's talking about the David Blaine treasure hunt, and he brings up Sherry, and he's like super salty about her because Sherry is the
Oh,
one who won
really?
that
Because
what?
she found
Yeah.
it. So he even knows the bird.
Yeah, he knows who Sherry is. He knows about those
But
hunts.
you
He
know
also
what
talks
the
about
difference
Push
is?
Nevada.
Everybody got to know the clues. Everybody got to know the locations, and everybody got to know the final spot where it was.
Yeah,
At
but
the
guess
end of
what?
that
You
treasure
just
hunt,
totally
it was
skipped over.
a-
You
it
totally
was
skipped
a-
over the facts that I told you in the Reddit database. The Condor 2 comments about Push Nevada, working on it, talking about losing the treasure hunt for the David Blaine thing, mentions Sherry. And we have the same exact thing said by Jack in the Medium article.
Copper Dan suspects that Jack's checked out. He's asking when people have last heard from Jack.
That means he sold the chest.
Maybe Jack meeting Dan was his last hurrah, and that's it.
Well, when you read the PDF, it kind of insinuated that, because I can't remember, I think it was an email or whatever. Jack said he had a certain plan. And once he like sold the chest, he would totally just bounce out of the community. And lo and behold, he's out of the community now. So,
Well, maybe he's had enough of being like stalked. Copper Dan said Jack stopped replying to me shortly after we met. He hasn't responded to my email that I sent with the finished frame. Not like him. Well, Dan, maybe he's done. He said he was going to go, didn't he? So maybe he's gone.
maybe Gollum
well, maybe
found
he's
them
just
and they
done
got
with
the
Copper
chest.
Dan, because Copper Dan, it was like, okay, that's it.
Or he might be in Egypt with no internet service. I mean, he was traveling and we had no idea where he was headed next.
Everywhere's got internet
See,
service
I'm in
now.
Bali. I mean, I'm in Nakamisai. in where, oh, I don't know. I would be gone. I would be Lord, I would be in New Zealand, Lord of the Rings trail.
David Crump, why do you think the chest was gone a while ago? What evidence backs that up?
He's whatever he says, he's gonna end it with Loran. So there you go. Loran radar.
I'm surprised Jack stayed around as long as he has. I thought he would have gone a long time ago, with all the crap he's had to deal with.
Really?
You know what I found really
I thought
weird,
we wouldn't
Susie?
hear anything, and then we're gonna hear boom, like there's gonna be whatever there is, the movie, whatever, you know.
But that'll be next year, so you might be in for a wait.
Well, if that is the case, why doesn't somebody just go, guess what? It's gonna be next year.
That's a good
That
question.
right there would ease some anxiety, you know.
Yeah.
Already, you know, just knowing of, okay, here's what's next. Here's what's next. Here we're gonna release a documentary, and then the chest is gonna be sold,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we've got coming ahead. So this is what's coming ahead. So please, you know, even just knowing that much information, I think would, you know, lax my anxiety about this, like this information that Jack left and is never going to be heard from again. Or, you know, Jack exits stage left. He's done talking. He's done answering emails and he's out. You know, that information causes anxiety. That information is like, unacceptable, anxiety level up. But what would be a more calming thing would be he left because he's busy filming. He's done filming. Now he just has to wait for the release of this. You know, what is going on? That's is it too much to ask to find out what
Well,
stuff
to,
is
oh,
going
you
on?
see,
The F?
to play devil's advocate, if you go on what Jack has actually said, and you aren't going to like this, but he has said he's not going to give the solution out.
Who
and he's
did
been
he never said that to me. I never heard him say that.
Jack's stated
He said,
that he's
you know
not
what
going
he
to give
said?
out the
He
solution.
insinuated he would never say the final location.
Mm-hmm.
The final location and the solve of the poem, to me, those are two different things. The poem and the clues in the poem and the book and the final look are two different things. Like you can separate those.
No, you can't.
You can tell a location. You could tell a location without ever getting to know the poem. You could tell a location without ever having the solve, right?
But you can't do the other way around. You can't give the solution without giving the location.
No, you can't. So is he say, you know, I mean, that is just not, this is not the game, you know, I mean, that's not the game we're playing here. That's not the game I signed up for, you know.
But Susie,
and this is where the anxiety comes in. You know, this Susie, is where the external of like, there's something you have no control over. There's zero
Susie,
control over this situation.
Susie, I've always said that the searchers deserve the solution, but they aren't entitled to it. And Forrest was always clear. Forrest said, when it's found, the finder will have the decision whether to release the solution or not. So he was clear that
those rules changed. Those rules changed.
Did they?
Forrest changed. He said he didn't care. Forrest had said he didn't care what happened after the, you know, he didn't. He was flat out asked if he was worried about the final location coming out or if his special spot would be ruined or a special location would be, you know, if somebody found the chest, it would be found out. And Forrest said he's not worried about that. He's not thinking, well, he's not worried about it.
Yeah.
And so to come on and say that that's the thing, that they're worried, Jack is worried about the destruction of the place. Bullshit. I call bullshit because that's, Forrest told us different. And it was only after the chest was found that he changed it. You know, I mean.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but Forrest never said you will find out the solution once it's retrieved. He never said that. So
because that wasn't the game we were playing. We didn't think the chest was going to be found.
You guys didn't notice
for 1,000 years or whatever.
Susie, you remember how Fenn used to refer to the finder as a she, and then it wasn't until 2018 it turned to a he, and we know Jack got into the chase during 2018. And then in 2019, which was November 2019, he did his interview with K-Pro and Mike. That's when he started saying it's up to him to let it come out and all that other stuff, because there was some type of plan going on in 2019.
He changed. Mm-hmm.
I think Jack didn't give him a choice. Like, Jack talks about like certain things he says that Fenn basically left a complete shit show for the finder. Like based on taxes. Then he talks about how the chest would be worth more money depending on if Fenn was alive or dead. And then he talks about where it's found and if it's released where it's found. Like it's interesting stuff you can find in that Reddit database. You can tell he was like trying to milk out every single cent he can out of this, pretty much.
I don't know what to say about that. I have no opinion on that. It's just like, I don't know.
Kiefer's back in chat.
AK Pro.
Maybe she found more beer and calmed down.
And was she ruffled? I didn't know that.
So she was ruffled to all hell.
Yeah. Early on, she wanted to talk, spill the beans, and she left before she did, I think.
That's going to be
So many
interesting to
times.
see, to watch us back. But now I've got 3 different videos. Thanks for all hanging in there, finding whatever works, right, you guys? We're all just here having fun, and there's 68 people here, so this is probably
They're loving it.
So thumbs up, Buttercups. Like it's free to give a little nod to Susie. Do it. Do it now. Only 11 people out of almost 70. Come on.
Okay, I had to like.
My favorite FenTuber, Susie Fenhaven. Highlight my
closest
Friday
thing-
nights.
the closest thing
Vampire.
to closure is meeting you, says Angeline Jolie to K Pro.
Oh, hey, Angeline.
Oh, that's
Oh
nice,
yeah,
isn't it?
I think isn't Christy supposed to go live like soon and talk about World Series of Fen? Like I think
don't know.
sometime this weekend.
World
Either this
Series of
weekend
Fun this
or-
year is going to be the first weekend in February. Is that the story?
I think so. I can't remember. I just know I'll be there being crazy as per usual.
It
When
was
is it?
fun.
When is this Knuckers meet going to happen? People are talking about.
August 22nd.
Forrest's birthday's coming up. That's like next week. Like,
Yep.
to-
Oh, are you gonna
And-
be there?
and there's going to be people meeting up in Yellowstone, West Yellowstone. Is that the story?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Tilly, are you going?
I would love to do that. I would love to go.
Tilly
already-
suddenly got really quiet.
You already asked me that. No, I'm not going.
Oh, I
said
didn't hear you.
Work is too busy. No, it was in chat earlier. You asked me in chat and I said no, work's too busy.
Oh, I never saw that
Sorry.
response.
Sorry.
I find it interesting. I'm pretty sure Copper Dan's gonna be up there. He's probably like gonna do the going live giveaway or something up there.
Rumor has it you will be in Yellowstone with your map next week. Is that true? Is that true? Oh, that's so awesome.
I don't think I'll have the map with him, but
No, that
That'd be like
ridiculous.
such a
You can't
pain in the
just carry that
butt.
thing around. It's huge.
right? Okay, whoever's the winner, you need to fly out to Yellowstone and pick it up because I'm too tired to do it again. Okay, bye.
Catch a ride with someone near you. Right.
Oh
I reckon
god,
that-
that's so sad.
I reckon that map's on Dan's wall, never to be taken down. His map, I mean, not the one with the raffle.
Can you imagine if you had that out and like your child comes over and like Sharpies attacks it and it's just like I hope he put it in another frame.
Oh, Bill believes Douglas Preston's going to announce him as a winner during an upcoming interview.
That's
Oh,
why I said,
Bill.
oh, how sad.
But there it is. It's the same mindset, that same locked belief.
Yeah.
It's just as strong as that other person that we're not going to say again, who believes so strongly, you know?
I'm
And
already thinking of your crazy cat name in my head right now, Susie.
I told that loudmouth cat too tonight that he had to stay downstairs because he gets me in trouble, gets me the nickname Crazy Cat Lady.
You know what I did to
don't
my
care.
cat today? She wouldn't let me sleep at all last night, and she has this big castle, and she was sleeping today. So I took the castle, I knocked it over, so she fell out of her castle. woke her up because
Oh, you big bully, big kitty
She's a
bully.
little shit.
Yeah, sometimes those kitties are. Okay, you guys, look, it's 12:30. Oh my God, I've been on here 3.5 hours.
Wow, that's a record for you,
change.
isn't it?
And so have you, Adam. Thank you.
Yeah, I've
for
enjoyed it. Thank you.
reappearing on my show after your long absence. I
Well,
appreciate that kindly.
Out of all the shows to come back to, it had to be yours, didn't it?
Well,
Oh my
I certainly
God.
appreciate that.
Well, you know I love being on, so thank you for having me.
Yes. You guys, I'm not even gonna
Indy, after party, let's go.
Oh, shit.
yeah, who's next?
We've got
Who's
the
next?
full-on vampire mode Adam back.
Well, I'm awake now. It's 6:30 in the morning, so let's go.
I'm wide awake. Don't know what to do. Julie, are you down?
I'm down.
Of course she is.
Guys gonna, oh, that's so awesome. Okay. I'm gonna regroup, get a snack, and I'll see y'all in chat. Okay.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you so much. It was fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
and thanks
Well,
everyone
thanks,
for
Susie.
joining me tonight.